I was going to start live directly after Dean's, but I since my power went out, my microphone wasn't working, and I fixed it real quick. So we're good now. We're good now. But we had to start a little bit later. What's good, everyone joining in? Do give it a second for people to join up. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. We're going to start the debates here within a few minutes once we get people up here in for debates. What's good, everyone joining in? How's everyone doing? Hopefully we can get some debates here tonight, everyone. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
How are you?
How old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
June 2007.
What month? You said June?
June.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald J. Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Is anti-LGBTQ and he's pro-life too.
Why do you want to be against the LGBTQ plus community?
Because they go against my religion.
Okay. So how does existing as a person, a part of the LGBTQ plus community, how does that harm you? How does that go against your religion?
Well, because in the Bible it says it's wrong.
Okay, where in the Bible does it say it's wrong to be gay in of itself?
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 10.
Yeah, so if you're going to say Paul particularly prescribes that certain types of gay intercourse is considered wrong, do you also think it's wrong to engage in relationships, as Paul literally described that he wanted people to be celibate essentially until Jesus comes back?
Yeah, where did Paul say that?
I'd have to pull it up. Would you like me to, though?
Yes, please.
I got you. But if that's true that he said that, would you accept it? And this is in 1 Corinthians 7.
1 Corinthians 7. Wait, let me read through. Do you know specifically like what verse he said that in?
I think it's the 7th. Hold up, give me one second.
1 Corinthians 7:7.
No, that's not quite. It's just in 1 Corinthians 7. It's gonna take me a second to find it. Would you like to
I can look it up.
engage with that, or engage that if it was true, would you accept it?
I can also refer back to Romans 1:26 to 27.
Okay. And what is that supposed to tell us?
Yeah, that's just going to be unnatural. And I'm also going to hold the natural law theory. And we can also look like your religion.
Okay, well, there's a few things. One, that's based upon your particular interpretation, right? Many others don't say that this is applicable to typical relationships today, right? And even if that is the case, that you would specifically just want to accept your interpretation, why wouldn't you decide to accept the other when it's just as sound?
Yeah, what's that other interpretation? I haven't heard such.
Yeah, we're telling you that it's about explicit, specific exploitative relationships, not specifically just gay intercourse in of itself. But that interpretation
can you prove
is
that?
completely consistent with the Christian text.
Yeah, can you prove that?
What do you mean prove that? Where it's a different
Well,
interpretation.
I've never heard
that.
of
Wait,
I've never
could you
heard
prove
of
your
such thing.
interpretation?
What do you mean? I mean, yeah, I can actually.
Okay, so
Early
what's your
church fathers.
proof? Wait, saying early
Yeah,
church fathers held this interpretation is not proof of the interpretation.
It would prove of like early church fathers.
So,
You know.
it would prove
Yeah.
early church fathers. What do you mean? That doesn't mean that that's the correct interpretation. I'm asking you, what proves the correct interpretation from your perspective? Billy, I think of the whale diving.
Wait, what do you mean?
What proves there being a correct interpretation? Is it just based upon however you view the text? Or are you
It would
saying
be
that
how
there's a certain set of contextual framework that you're going to use, right,
In my
conjunction
denomination.
to be able to address which one is preferable?
Right. So in my denomination, I'm a Catholic. Right. We look at how early church fathers interpreted the text
Wait,
to make
I have a
our
question.
interpretation.
If you do that based on early church fathers, I have a question for you. You said you're Catholic. Do you think have
Yeah.
you ever done communion?
I have.
Do you think that when you're eating the bread and wine, do you think that it turns into the body and blood of Christ, literally?
Yeah, it's the Eucharist.
So you think it literally turns into human blood and a human body, right? And human flesh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a cannibal under your own definition?
I don't understand how. What's the relevancy of this?
Wait, you just said that you consume
Wait, what?
human
So what's the
blood and
relevancy of
flesh.
this? I'm
You just said that
confused.
you're a cannibal under your own
Yeah.
definition.
What's the relevancy of this?
Wait, I'm just asking.
I'm
like,
not.
how are you to
Yeah,
judge
what's the
other
relevancy?
people
Can
when
you-
you're a cannibal?
What do you? How is this relevant at all?
You just said that you're a cannibal.
Yeah,
Your own
and how is that
definition.
relevant? How is that relevant?
How is that relevant? You're sitting here trying to say that like it's wrong to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community because you
I'm
think
just
it's
gonna- I'm
quote,
just gonna
sinful, but
say-
then you're literally eating human body or I mean blood and flesh. You're consuming that
Mm-hmm.
under your own view.
Yeah, and how is
I
that
mean,
relevant?
I don't
to
think
this
you're
conversation?
literally doing that, but under your own view, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and how is this relevant, Parker?
I just explained.
Yeah, no,
You just
that's
want
not
to go
relevant
based
to the
on early
conversation
church
at all.
fathers. Do you not think that's
Yes.
absurd? Just
I don't
to think
think
that it's
so, no.
literally
Jesus
human blood
Christ
and flesh.
himself. Jesus Christ himself said that this is my
Wait, why can't you
body
just
and
take
this
the
is my
wait? Stop!
blood.
Stop! Stop! Why can't you just take the interpretation that it's not literally right those things, but it's symbolic? I'm sorry. Why can't you do that? Why can't you just say that? Why do you have to say that it's literally human blood and literally human flesh that you're consuming? That's absurd. Just
Wait,
because
what's
of the
the issue with
particular interpretation
cannibalism?
of
What's the
people what
foundation
fucking
for the issue?
literally almost like 2,000 years ago? Come on, that's ridiculous. You don't have to believe that just because people thousands of years ago believed it.
Yeah, so what's going to be like the issue with cannibalism? What's your foundation for it?
What's the issue with? Did you just ask me? What's the issue with cannibalism, bro? What?
In
That
this
is a
sense.
crazy
In this
question.
sense, Parker.
That is a crazy question, bro. What do you
Parker,
mean?
in
What is
this
wrong
sense.
with cannibalism? What are you talking about? Now, again,
Parker.
if you're asking like a meta-ethical question of whether my morality is subjective or objective, that is not a good way to ask me that question. That's a crazy thing to say.
What do you mean? I'm not asking that at all. What?
Wait. Are you disputing that because morality is subjective that I can have the view that cannibalism is wrong?
No, I'm actually saying the opposite. What? I believe in objective morality.
So then why'd you ask me such a ridiculous question?
I don't believe it's ridiculous in this
That was an
sense.
absurd question. You just asked me why I think cannibalism is wrong. Do you think
But once
cannibalism
again, I
is
feel
wrong?
like we're straying away from the actual
Wait, I have a
point,
question.
right,
Do you think
Parker?
that real question? Do you think cannibalism is wrong?
in any other sense besides like
What?
in
No, wait.
your
No,
case,
not
yeah.
wait. So you think in some contexts it's okay to engage in cannibalism?
Yeah, because Jesus Christ himself said this.
Dude, come on, no, don't concede to that, man. Come on.
I'm not conceding.
No,
what do you mean?
no, stop.
Wait, can you
bro,
define
please.
consent? Wait,
no,
can you define
please.
conceding?
Please don't concede to
Can
that.
you define conceding?
Well, you agreed with the position, not with me. I think this is a crazy position. You think that cannibalism is okay in some contexts. That's ridiculous. I think in no context is cannibalism
Yeah,
good.
how?
Within the real
Wait,
life, no context is cannibalism
Wait,
good.
what's going to be your foundation for cannibalism is bad?
What, are you asking like why do I think that? Well, it's a description of my psychological preferences. I think that that's wrong.
Why?
What do you mean why? What are you asking?
Yeah,
What
can you
type of- are you asking a
substantiate that?
meta-ethical question or what type of question are you asking?
I guess it would just be that. Well, I mean, it would be either way. Like, why do you think it's wrong? I'm very curious, Parker.
I gave you an explanation. I'm confused. What type of question are you asking? Because I've already clarified, and you didn't think that that was an explanation.
Wait, Parker. Now, I need to ask you a question. What moral framework do you hold to? And we can get back on topic. I'm just confused.
In what context? Like, in terms of meta-ethics, or what type of ethical framework are you
Yeah.
referencing?
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of, like metaethics.
I believe morality is subjective.
Do you hold like a specific view?
Like, I'm a particularist.
Okay.
You're not going to
Okay,
like
yeah.
arguing with me if we want to talk about those types of particular beliefs.
Huh?
You're not going to like arguing with me on those. We can talk about those, but that's irrelevant to the point I was just making. Why did you ask me such a question? You didn't get anything from that.
Well, I was just
Crazy,
wondering, Parker.
it's a
That's
crazy
my
thing to
bad.
concede to. The point that I'm making is that you don't just have to accept the interpretation of those that existed historically speaking. Just because they had a certain interpretation
if they interpret such
thousands of
text,
years
right?
ago, that doesn't mean that interpretation is accurate. You can look at this
But,
from
like-
any perspective. By the way, I think Christianity is false. So I don't think that any of these interpretations would you accept in the first place. I'm not Christian. But if you're going to look from within the purview of Christianity, there's no reason to accept the interpretation that you're holding over the interpretation that I just listed, that there's nothing specifically that inherently says that it's wrong to engage in gay intercourse in the context of the Bible, and that you can take an interpretation that it's talking about explicit exploitative practices, not the context of modern relationships that exist today. And like long-term committed relationships where people engage in gay intercourse, like that's not the case that it's referencing.
Yeah. Wait, what was your refutation to 1 Corinthians 6:9-10 again?
I'm saying that you can hold a different interpretation, and there are plenty of things that Paul believed that you probably don't hold to what Jesus thought at the time, right? Like Paul is different from Jesus.
I'm reading through 1 Corinthians 7 right now. I don't see anywhere where he says that we shouldn't marry, until Jesus comes back. It's mostly talking about like divorce and how he doesn't
it's
really.
It's 1 Corinthians 7. It's a prescription. It's a prescription from Paul. He's not necessarily saying it's morally wrong to do otherwise. He's just saying that you should be celibate until Jesus gets back. It's 1 Corinthians 7. You were looking on the wrong side.
You said 1 Corinthians 7? Yeah, I'm reading through that.
Okay, well, you can keep reading into it, but that's where it mentions that. Now,
he's really just talking about how. Do you want to engage
the point that I made? Just because you hold that interpretation doesn't mean that that's the correct interpretation. You can hold any other interpretation. What justifies one interpretation over the other? You seemingly didn't have a basis for that, so you can take either interpretation from your perspective. What holds you back from taking the interpretation that I mentioned?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Parker.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, Parker. It's all good. Just some smoke.
Oh, okay. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Well, we're cooking something.
Okay. Or is that you getting cooked in the conversation?
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. That made me laugh. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm just, once again, even if I do concede to, the cannibalism thing, I don't understand how that's relevant.
Dude, come on. It's an absurd thing to concede to. I'm just saying, all it's trying to demonstrate is that you don't have to hold those interpretations. That'd be absurd, right? Come on. That's a really easy example. And by the way, this isn't applicable to most denominations. You could just hold a different interpretation, right? It's really not a difficult thing. Even I genuinely don't know why you'd ever concede to that. I think that's really ridiculous. It's obviously absurd. Anyone hearing that would just be like, why would you say that? That's absurd. Genuinely, you don't even realize how absurd what you're saying is when you are saying it.
Okay, wait. So if I'm a Protestant, right? This doesn't hold still because I believe
you can hold a different interpretation. Exactly. So what says your interpretation is right over someone else's interpretation within the context of your own religion. So not only could I say you don't have justification for your religion in the first place, but I can also say within the context of your religion, you also don't even have justification, even if we were to assume your religion is true.
So wait, if I say I'm Eastern Orthodox, right? But I don't believe in necessarily Eucharistic practices. I'm still gonna uphold that early church fathers proceed over the church.
Okay. So you're saying if you held a different interpretation, you could hold a different interpretation, but why would you hold that interpretation over, say, a progressive view, when probably the progressive view is going to agree with your intuitions more? Do you think that sex before marriage is wrong?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Even in long-term committed relationships?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only difference between it being right or wrong is whether or not there's a piece of paper?
It wouldn't necessarily be a piece of paper.
What would it be?
It would be a spiritual combining.
Okay, so if I engaged in marriage, but I didn't do that because I'm not Christian, would you actually think that my marriage is valid?
I guess in your worldview it would be, but not necessarily. Wait, what do you mean?
No. Because I'm an atheist. My girlfriend's an atheist as well. If we were to get married, we wouldn't do so in the church or under God. So then under your view, you probably wouldn't see my marriage to be valid, and therefore you would still consider, right, the intercourse that we would engage in to be wrong, right, in the context of marriage, even given that, because you just didn't consider it marriage.
I always consider it marriage.
You would consider that marriage, but it's not under God. So then what is marriage? Is marriage... So it's a paper. It's a piece of paper?
Can you define paper?
Define paper? What?
Yeah.
I don't think I needed to define paper to you. Like, that's absurd. That's
How
the
is
most
that
ridiculous
axiomatic?
question I've ever asked. Like, that gives you no actual intellectual basis for the conversation to respond to any of my particular views.
I feel like
ask
it
me
does,
how
though.
to define. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard asked. What do you mean define paper? Like, it had no relevance to the moral prescription.
Yes, it does. Wait, what do you mean by paper?
Paper
though,
is just
in
a
this sense?
description of, like, it's on documentation, things that are written down. Are you
Huh?
really asking me to define paper, dude? That is like Jordan Peterson level crazy, asking me to define belief. Bro, are you kidding?
Huh?
What do you mean by belief? What do you mean by belief?
What do you,
Come on, dude.
Wait,
Don't
what?
be Jordan Peterson. What do you mean define paper, bro? What are you talking
Jordan
about?
Peterson's low tier.
What'd you say?
I said Jordan Peterson's a low tier.
I think Jordan Peterson's argument makes way more sense than yours. I'm serious. Like, genuinely, define paper.
What?
You've got to be trolling. You've actually got to be trolling.
Wait, why do you, wait, what, really?
What relevance did that have to the conversation? Can you please just admit you're trolling?
I'm not trolling.
Then what do you mean?
Like, what do you mean paper?
Why'd you ask me that question?
Literal sense.
What?
Do you mean paper in like a literal sense?
Yeah,
Or like,
yes.
Yeah, oh, so like an actual piece of paper that says you're married.
Yeah, like legal documents.
Oh, why are we appealing to legality, Parker?
Because that's what you were saying was the basis for my marriage, because I didn't do it under God.
How?
Okay, so then what is the basis for my marriage outside of that, because we didn't do it under God?
I would still deem it a spiritual combining.
What? How so? Like, at what point did we spiritually combine?
Whenever you got married.
Okay, but we didn't do so under God. So when we kiss, or at what point?
What do you
And by the
mean
way,
under
Chad,
God?
by the way, Chad, I'm not married. Or this is a hypothetical scenario because he doesn't consider like an atheistic marriage to be justified. So just want to clarify. I'm not married yet.
Wait, well, if you get married, you're still married under God.
No, wait, no, that's not true. Right? Because
How?
I don't believe in God. My girlfriend doesn't believe in God. If we were to get married in the future, that wouldn't mean that it's under God. Right? If we didn't do so with a past or anything. So are you saying under your view that like the marriage happened at the point in which we kissed? So prior to that, right, intercourse would be wrong, but after the kiss, intercourse would be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So one kiss changes whether or not intercourse is morally
Would
okay.
also be, because I would still think that you would still spiritually combine whenever you get married.
So the kiss spiritually combined us. We weren't spiritually combined before, but we were after.
Yeah. Well, no, it would be still like who does your wedding? Like if you were to get married, who?
Well, let's say it was an atheist who did the wedding.
Oh. I don't know. That's a good question, Parker. Good question. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Let me ask Grok.
What do you mean ask Grok? That is the craziest shit I've ever heard. Why would you ask that? Dude, Grok
What
is
do you
actually
mean?
insane. Have you seen all of the things of people bringing up the fact that it literally like will pick Elon Musk over anything? Like it will
Maybe.
literally, it has an Elon Musk bias like crazy. Has anyone else seen that? You got to be trolling.
Wait, so
us.
if I
Why
were
would
to
you
ask
ever use Grok, dude? That's ridiculous.
if I were to ask Grok right now, who was better, like a better philosopher, Aristotle or Elon Musk?
Or,
He would
yeah,
say
it would
Elon
literally
Musk.
say Elon Musk. I'm not trolling. Ask, like,
I
I'm
wanna
serious.
t- I
It would
wanna test
literally
that
say
right
Elon
now.
Musk. People have
Hold
been
on,
testing it
Parker.
out, right? Already, you can just watch the videos of people testing it out, where literally they ask, all right, Grok, all these different questions, right, about like for example, who's a better athlete? But actually, at this point, Elon's fixed it apparently. But before, that's what would happen.
Oh, okay.
They've tested
I
this
see.
many times.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can agree to disagree on the LGBTQ part. But I want to move
But
on to
why?
abortion.
What you never justified, one, the interpretation from within the religion, and from an outside perspective, from outside of the religion, right? Again, why would you accept this religion over a different religion, right? Alongside the fact that I could literally, off of basis of an argument, give you reason to not accept Christianity. But like, again, even from within your religion, you can take a progressive interpretation that I think is cool, right? even though I disagree with it from a descriptive sense.
Okay. You made some good points, Parker. I've never heard of them. You know, I've been debating on Roblox for some time now.
Okay, you've got to be trolling, bro. What are you
What do
talking
you mean? I'm not
You
trolling.
debate on Roblox?
Yeah,
Is that actually a thing?
podiums.
I
Podiums VC.
I don't think I've played like actually played Roblox like since I was a child. But I've heard people
I
play
made
it
some
when they're
good
older.
debating
There's a bunch of
friends.
different
It's
games,
good.
but
Okay.
there's a debating thing on Roblox. That's like me when I was a
Yeah.
kid going on like Omegle and debating people, which was
I met some high
atrocious.
tiers on there. Okay.
Some
I
high
think I
tiers?
concede.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Like really good at debating.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like Curry Cell. Okay, anyways, we can move on.
Okay.
to,
Okay. I'm going to the next person.
Wait, why? No, Parker. I want to debate. I want to debate on abortion.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go on to the next person at this point. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. We've just started the live, everyone. We're going to be on live for a while tonight. It's nighttime live, everyone. If you do support Donald Trump, make sure to send a guest request. We're going to start getting some debates up here once we get a debate up here. But first, everyone, make sure to define paper. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
My name is Julian. I'm 18 years old.
And do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
And can you define paper?
Define paper. You write on it? You write on it?
That was a not serious question. Okay. I have a few people to thank real quick. Give me a second. What was your birth year, by the way?
2007, September 19th.
Okay, September 19th, 2007. All right. Okay. I'm gonna say thank you to a few people real quick, and then we'll go on to our conversation. Do just give me 1 second real quick. A few people to thank. Brandy, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Brandy. Samurai, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Amy Lee, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I typically don't add people up from the gifts, but I do really appreciate it. Thank you. Michelle, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Valerie, thank you for the $10. Caitlin, thank you for the $3. Shay, thank you for the $5. Cheryl, thank you for the $5 as well. Juliana, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. $40 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Juliana. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Mary with the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And Juliana, by the way, said define this donation. I don't think I can. Divide money, please. Define the paper money that you just sent. I need you to define that. I need to define the definition of that definition. Barbara, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Kate, thank you for the $15. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, happy early birthday! Happy early birthday, Kate. I hope you have a fantastic day. Brittany, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. M, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think I'm fully caught up on Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. Let me go check out on YouTube real quick. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. And also, free way to do so is liking the stream, tab the screen on TikTok, and if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. I think you have to close out the chat to be able to hit that thumbs up. A few people to think on YouTube real quick, and then we'll move on to the conversation. Claire, thank you for the Galaxy, thank you. Luke, thank you for the $5, I really appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, it's actually crazy. I think I've heard about that. Samurai, thank you so much, really appreciate the $10, I really appreciate it, thank you. Tim with the $100. Thank you so much, Tim. Can we get some W's for Tim in the comment section? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's crazy.
Parker,
Thank you so much, Tim.
Parker, so what do
I
you
can't sing.
support?
I'm horrible at singing. Heather, thank you for the $5. Michelle, thank you for the $2. Rayon, thank you for the $1. Johnny, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty,
Parker,
I am
so what do
fully
you-
caught up. So, why do you support Donald Trump?
I think, well, back in his presidency a couple years ago, gas prices were at an all-time low for what they've been in a while. Here in Oregon, they were only $2.50, and now they're like almost $4. I also think that he's done a good job. I think he's done a good job with his immigration policies. He's taken a lot of illegal immigrants out of the country.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to take my intuition. If I'm wrong, I really apologize, but I do think that they're probably a kid. If I'm wrong, I really do apologize. I really apologize, but I always try to stay safe rather than be sorry. And a lot of people lied to me about their ages, so I do apologize if I'm wrong, but I gotta be safe. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello,
How old are you?
I'm 40 years old.
And do you support Trump?
Absolutely not.
Okay, based. Appreciate you very much. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are, again, just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
How much earwax are in those fucking earbuds?
How old are you? Man, was that the best
What?
insult you had? that was... How
No,
old
no,
are
it's
you?
a question. No,
tell me how old are you?
'cause it's a
How old are you?
question.
Answer the
What?
question. I have to kick you if you tell me how old you are. Okay.
What?
Okay, I have to go on to the next person. That was really the best insult they had. That was kind of funny, honestly, how embarrassing that was. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
What's your birth year?
2005.
Okay, and what month?
May.
Okay, and if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
Oh, it was my first time voted, so I voted for Trump.
And would you still vote for Donald Trump with the information that you have right now?
To be honest, probably not.
Okay, well, Cole, I really appreciate you very much. I'm glad that you've changed your mind. That's the point of this stream. I appreciate you very much. Good to see that you've changed your mind. Karen, thank you for the $5. Lauren at the $5 as well. And Karen, thank you so much for the $12.50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it as always. Thank you. And Amy Lee, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $2. Thank you. We bring them up in the context of the debates all the time. There's a few arguments, actually, like an argument that people typically use is if they're like, actually, it depends on feminism. I would say there's a lot of good content on YouTube, but I don't know where to specifically direct you, other than like Dean's made specific videos that you could watch that like are debates where he's engaged in debates on feminism. I think they're pretty good. If you'd like to look for specific content. For debating people. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
31.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I'd vote for Trump.
Okay, why
Mainly
do you support
because
Trump?
of his favor. Mainly in favor of his pro-life policies.
Here, 1 second. Yo, Badger, just hop back in the guest box. I'll bring you up next. Okay. You said it's pro-life policies, or what'd you say?
Yes, his pro-life policies as an Eastern Orthodox.
Pro-life policies. Okay. Do you believe in separation of church and state?
Yes and no.
What do you mean? It's either a yes or a no.
I would say mainly no, because we still have to uphold those fundamentals of our Constitution.
Okay, so you're saying we have to uphold the Constitution. So if Donald Trump ever called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, would you support him?
No.
Okay, so
I
he
do
has.
lean-
I can show you a tweet from Truth Social where he specifically advocated to terminate all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution.
May I clarify something? Whenever it comes to whether I,
Well, I have a
feel
question.
more...
What's your birth year?
1993.
93? Mm-hmm. And you said you're how old?
31.
Didn't you say like 40 earlier?
No, I said 31.
I'm pretty sure you said 40 earlier.
No, I did not. I said I was 31.
Okay. Okay. And if I play back the audio of the stream, I'm not going to hear you say 40, right?
Refer back
Yes,
to
if you go back to the clip of the stream, you
I'm
will
pretty
not
sure
hear
you
me
said-
say 40. May I?
What do you mean? It's either a yes or a no. It's pro-life policies. Okay. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
31.
Do you support Trump? You did say 31. Or 41?
Nope, 31.
Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Pro-life policies. Okay. Whoa, why did it just skip like that? Okay, I'm just gonna believe you. I apologize. I might have been thinking about the last guest. My memory is pretty bad. What were you saying?
I favor some of Trump's policies because of pro-life, how that links to my beliefs about Christianity and God's existence, which is one of the main reasons, Parker, I wanted to come up here and debate you, if you're willing to.
Yeah, but I think we've already gone over the fact that just because you have a particular religious prescription doesn't mean that that should influence the way that you view on politics, right?
I believe that Trump's policies favored a lot of what the Bible goes by.
Here, can you give me 1 second? What was your birth year again?
1993,
1993, and what month?
December.
Okay. All right, that is accurate. All right. Okay. Go back and sorry, what were you saying again? Sorry, there's just a lot of comments going both ways, and I'm not quite sure.
It's a lot. So, I specifically wanted to debate you about God's existence, which kind of links to politics, I would say, in many, many ways. Like, a very good example would be abortion. I don't know if you're strictly looking for, just a general political debate, but can we narrow this down to specifically one subject?
Yeah, I think I did, right? Like, I talked about, you don't think that just because you have a religious view on something that means that the law should reflect that particular religious view, because then you would say things like adultery should be illegal and Donald Trump should be in prison for committing adultery on multiple occasions.
Yes, indeed.
So Trump should be in prison.
I do believe he should be in prison.
Okay. Do you think he also should be president?
Well, if you're a felon, you can't vote. I don't believe he should be president, but I would say I favor some of his policies, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about.
If you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
None of them.
So you wouldn't vote for either? Okay, I mean, so you wouldn't vote for Donald Trump at least. That's still okay, she just advocated for Trump to go to prison. Okay, you know what, Trump for president, I'll take it. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. What was the other person I brought up? I brought them up and I told them to hop back in the guest box. Does anyone remember what their name was? Yo, what's up, how old are you?
19.
What's your birth year?
2006.
2006? You said you're 19?
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you could go back in time or actually what month were you born? Sorry. I don't see Badger, by the way, in the comment in the guest box, but Badger, I'll be looking for you.
What?
Oh, wait, no, I see him.
What are you saying?
Hold up. Yo, Badger, how old are you?
55.
And do you support Trump? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. And so America First, you support Trump as well, right? Okay. Looks like they're not responding. Okay. I'm just going to, I guess, kick them because they were just doing that. Okay, why do you support Trump?
Because he closed the border, because he doesn't think men should swim against women. Because people have been arrested 72 times, he thinks you go to jail. Can you hear me?
Is that it? Yeah, no, I'm just asking, are you going to keep mentioning things?
All night, but I think that's enough. Why don't you respond?
Okay, so then here's a few things. You don't want men in women's spaces, right?
You're leading me with that, but I don't want men swimming against women. I don't want men playing volleyball against women. I don't want men in women's locker rooms.
So, would you ever vote for a candidate that say bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent?
Yep, and I probably wouldn't vote for one.
You would vote for them?
This is a leading question. Did Bill Clinton get a Hummer from an intern in the White House and tell the nation
And possibly even Trump.
Possibly.
So what's your point here? I'm asking you. I'm not asking about Bill Clinton. I'm asking you about Trump.
I'm asking about everybody. If everyone that has been president for the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years did something wrong, they wouldn't be president. You have to deal with it.
Did Kamala Harris engage in any actions that you think are?
She stepped way to the top, for Christ's sake. She was 25 years old and had sex with a mayor or governor that was 58, 59 years old.
Okay, who did she sleep with that brought her to the quote top? And then also, apparently Trump sucked his way to the top, according to some of the emails that were just released. So if you just want to like run around with all of these different theories, I wonder why you don't do that with Donald Trump in terms of the emails with Bubba. I mean, is Bubba the horse or is Bubba Bill Clinton? Which one is it?
So you wouldn't vote for Clinton?
No, I'm not voting for Bill Clinton.
You wouldn't?
Nope.
If you go back 20 years, who would you vote for?
Like back then?
Yeah, when he was getting his Hummers, who would you vote for? That's your boy, right?
I'm sorry. Are you comparing engaging in adultery to literally Donald Trump, like sexually exploiting people? And also Donald Trump being held liable for sexually abusing a woman, forcibly penetrating her against her will, having 26 different women accuse Donald Trump of sexual misconduct, right? You think all of them are lying, apparently.
25 years later, don't give me that shit. You know it's 25 years later. You know what? People that didn't say shit forever, and all of a sudden he's trying to get in office. Then they bring it up.
Okay,
so give me a break.
So you say they didn't bring it up until after the point he ran for office. Well, you understand that if someone has been assaulted and they see their abuser got into a position of power, that's probably a reason for them to come out and tell people that this happened to them, so that they specifically can't utilize that position of power to harm people such as them. And you understand that the people that you're blaming for not coming out earlier are the same people that you're choosing not to believe. And it is also it is also common.
Stop talking over me. Stop talking.
You were the one talking over me. It's also common for victims to take decades to come out because people do not believe them, and there's a lot of societal stigma and social pressures that essentially force people into circumstances in which they don't feel like they have the ability to come out because of people like you that deny them, and there are people that harass them as well, right? And that's why a lot of victims don't come out, because they don't want to have to deal with harassment from people that support the people who are very, very powerful. So again, people in these positions of power can exploit them, like Donald Trump, in these clear circumstances. And you apparently are going to support him, which reinforces the culture in which they don't come out right away. And then you're blaming the victims for not coming out right away for the culture that is perpetuated by yourself.
You're making that up. That's not what I said. Hey, let me ask you a question. Can a man have a baby?
Are you saying that someone is? Can a man specifically have a uterus? Is that your?
If you were born with a penis. If you were born with a penis, can you have a baby?
And what type of pivot is this? If you were born with a or unless you're intersex and have the capacity. I don't know why you're asking this question.
So you're saying like 1 in 100 billion people? But other than that, you're saying
billion? I mean, do you know how many people exist on the planet? There are intersex people on the planet.
That's the people you vote for. That's the people you vote for. That's the people you vote for.
What do you mean? I was just describing facts of reality. I'm confused. What do you mean? What do I vote for that's so bad?
You vote for people that would actually stand in front of Congress and say that a man can get pregnant. That's ludicrous, and you know it.
Okay.
And 25 years ago,
I mean, how are you using the term man? I have a question. How are you using the term man?
Born with a penis.
Okay, so I don't think anyone's using that particular definition of the term man if they're claiming this.
It's the only definition.
No, it's not. There's other definitions of the term. But also, by the
Bullshit.
way, like, why did
tell
you
me if you're
pivot?
born without one, you're a man?
Why instead of responding to any of my arguments, did you have to say, "Oh, trans people, I don't understand their identities"? Like, really, you just like again that you didn't actually give an
No,
argument
I
for
did respond to it.
acknowledging the
I-
sexual exploitation that Donald Trump engaged in. He bragged about himself, and the fact that you sit there and still support him, even though he literally bragged about engaging in sexual exploitation. When there was an 18-year-old that came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in, right? And you sit there and defend that. You're totally okay with that, right?
None. I am because I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
all
Even
made
though
up.
Donald Trump bragged about it himself, I can play the audio of Donald Trump bragging about it. You don't believe Donald Trump when he says things?
Yeah, play it.
Okay, I will play the audio for you. Would
Play
you
it
like to hear it?
right now? You got to have it right away. I'm sure it's right on your, right there
Sorry,
for
hold
you.
up. I just accidentally pulled the clip of him calling his daughter voluptuous. My bad. Let me go to the other one, which means curvy or
Oh,
sexually
did he
attractive, by
shower
the
with
way.
his daughter? Did he shower with his daughter?
You know,
No, he just continually sexualized his daughter specifically. Said he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter. Said yeah to Howard Stern, calling his daughter a piece of ass. Said his daughter's always been voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive. And said he had sex
is.
in common with his daughter. So he's constantly sexualized his daughter and referred to his daughter as a literal sex object. So
to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, you know, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
and watch. Wait, are you going to defend this one too? You're going to defend explicitly him admitting to engaging in sexual exploitation?
That he thought there were attractive women in
Oh wait, no, he would barge into these changing rooms and look at them naked and perv on
That's what he
them
said.
without their consent.
That's not what that said.
That's exactly what he said. Do you want me to play the
That's not
audio
what he
again?
said.
He said he would barge in and he'd get away with being able to look at them naked without clothes on.
Was the word naked in that discussion?
I'm sorry, just wait, when you have no clothes on, are you naked?
I
Real
didn't
question.
hear that part.
When you have no clothes on, are you naked?
And regardless,
Wait, answer
I don't
the
think
question.
that's what it's- I
Answer the
don't think that's
question.
what it said,
If
Jay
you
boy.
have no clothes on, are you naked?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So when he was referring to
Play it
the fact
again.
that he would,
Play it again. That's not what it
Okay.
said.
it is exactly what he said.
And
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, you know, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Where was the word naked?
He said no
they're
clothes
getting-
on.
No, he said they're getting dressed.
Wait, so they're getting dressed with no clothes. He's obviously saying no clothes on. Okay. And also, by the way,
No.
the same thing has been literally
No.
confirmed by those that were at these pageants, not only in Miss USA, but also Miss Teen USA, where victims have come out and said that there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in. So if you want to sit there and defend that, wait, no, those are victims that specifically have come out and talked about the fact that that's happened. I already played the clip for you. Did you need me to play it again for you a third time?
Yep. Yeah, because it's
Apparently,
if that
apparently,
clip-
chat. We
if-
need to play it for him a
dude,
third time. Okay.
dude,
Okay. Apparently.
if that
Well, you
clip-
could also
if
say
that
as the
clip was
owner of the pageant.
if that clip was so damaging and true, he wouldn't be president. It's no-
Oh! You mean if you guys had actually had morals? If you guys actually cared about people? Oh my god, it's almost like you understand that this is a reason to not support him, yet you still decide to support him. You want to know
What do you
why
do
he's
for-
president? Because people will defend him with a cult-like mentality exactly like you and reinforce it
No.
exactly like you. And then it becomes
No.
normalized to a point where you're like, there's no possible way he would have even gotten to the position of president if these things were actually true about him.
Hey,
well, no, you're just
let me ask you this.
reinforcing the culture that is allowed for him to get away with it.
Would you shut up for 30 seconds? Let me talk. What if that's the worst thing he's done and he shuts the border and he stops crime, and yet your guy gets a Hummer in the office, right? Showers with his daughter, opens the border, allows crime to happen? Who do you vote for?
So the last candidate was Kamala Harris, right? We're not going
Who
all the way
slept their
back
way
to
to the
Bill
top and had-
Clinton.
who slept
right?
their way to the top.
Hold up. Okay, again, you had no
Slept their way to the
evidence
top
for that.
and
What
didn't-
was your
didn't
evidence?
even-
Who
didn't
did she
even win a
sleep with? Tell me,
primary.
who did
Didn't
she
even
sleep?
win a primary.
Wait, tell me, answer the question. Who did she sleep with?
I don't know his name. He's insignificant.
She slept her way to the top, but apparently you don't even know who she slept with, but you know
Because
who
I
she
care
is.
that little
That's
about her.
ridiculous for you to
You
say.
can look it
That's
up. I
absurd.
can find
You don't
it
even know who
if I
you're
wanted to look for
referencing.
it.
You don't even know who you're referencing. What do you mean she slept her way to the top? What are you talking about? It's not Trump and Bubba. You're just engaging in misogyny. You have no basis in evidence at all. You have a literal trust me bro for saying she quote unquote slept her way to the top. You're literally just saying that because she's a woman. But if it were true specifically in the case of literally a man, you would never say that about the man. This is never a claim when it comes to men at all. It's only a claim that misogynistic pieces of shit will use targeted towards women to demean them getting into positions of power. And even if this were true, this does not mean that you should blame the woman in this scenario. Why wouldn't you blame the men in the positions of power that exploit the positions of power to literally abuse women to be able to abuse women to be able to then force them specifically to, in order to be able to get into that position, engage in a particular type of behavior, right? So why wouldn't you blame the men who set up the system in that way rather than blaming the woman who specifically, in order to be able to get into a position of power, in order to help other women, had to do that in order to get into a position of power like that? So not only do you not have evidence for it, but you look like a complete, total, utter POS when you sit there and you try to engage in the misogynistic conspiracy theory that Kamala Harris quote unquote slept her way to the top. You have no basis in evidence for. Push the galaxy. Would you like to give us your response to that one? If you could possibly. Is there any response? You have the ability to unmute. I'm currently not. I've sent you an invite to unmute. Amy Lee, thank you for the $2.50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Karen, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Apparently, it looks like he's got no argument in response. No argument. Seriously, it's just utter BS. It's utter BS that they sit here and they literally try to engage in the belligerent, absolutely insane lie that Kamala Harris, quote unquote, slept her way to the top, right? It's absolutely absurd and ridiculous. It's straight up just misogynistic conspiracy theories that they come up with in their own heads in order to act like she's, quote unquote, not qualified to get into these particular positions when she's objectively more qualified than Donald Trump. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's actually embarrassing that they have to stoop to such a position. Oh, I just accidentally muted you again because I was trying to unmute you. I sent you an invite to unmute, man. You gotta click the microphone in the bottom right. You're purposefully not muting or not unmuting at this point. Come on.
No, you muted me nonstop, so you can get
I didn't.
Yes.
I sent you an invite
And I
multiple
will
times.
admit I'm 55 years old and I'm not tech savvy like you, but Willie
You don't
Brown.
need to be tech savvy to click a microphone in the bottom right of your screen, bro.
Why would I know this?
You just need
First time I've ever done
basic
this.
critical thinking skills.
Dude, shut up and let me talk. She fucked Willie Brown.
Okay, so you just found this in the chat, and again, there's no basis in evidence to
No,
say that because she was in a
I
relationship
Googled
with
it.
Willie Brown, that's the reason why she got into the positions of power that she was in. You don't think that just because people are in relationships with others, that necessarily means that just
No,
because they're in
she
those
got
relationships,
the
that is
position-
the only reason they got into positions of power. That is not the
Oh,
reason
come
why
on,
she
man.
specifically.
Don't be a fucking idiot. What are you, 23 years old with
no,
no
I
job?
am
All you do
23.
is sit.
This is a
Yep,
job.
And you're on what? And
I have no job. Wait, what is a job?
Your job is this.
Okay, so you admitted it's a job.
Okay, yes.
Okay, it is a
That will
job,
not,
yeah.
It will not, you will not last. You better save your money.
It won't last? Okay, what do you mean? I've been doing this
You
for
think you're going to be doing
almost
this in 5 years, Sunshine?
well, I've been doing this
No.
for 5 years.
Yeah, you think you're going to be doing it in 5 years from now? There's no fucking
Yes,
way.
I actually do
You
think I'll be
will
doing this.
not last.
Wait,
you
I actually-
will not last.
Keep
You're
saying
a
that.
child.
What do you mean I won't last? There's 8.8 thousand people in the stream. 8.9 actually. I know you're jealous and you're mad, but it's absolutely lasting. I'm going to be doing this in
No.
5 years. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No,
I'm totally
there's
serious.
no
I will
fucking-
absolutely be
You
doing this
might,
in
but
5
there'll be
years.
like 6 people watching you.
What do you mean 6 people watching me? Again, there's like literally like almost 9,000 people in the stream.
That's not that much.
That's 9,000 people concurrently watching the stream is not that much?
No.
What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me?
By the way, everyone, it's 6,000 here on TikTok and then 3,100 people on YouTube. You think that's
Yeah.
not a lot of people? Have you ever been on a
No.
stage in front of 9,000 people before?
Once.
Once. When?
And I wasn't paid for it.
When?
At a concert, I could go up on stage. Had nothing to do with me.
And did you think that was a lot of people?
front of me, yes.
Okay, so then 9,000
Did I
people
think
is
that?
a lot.
Did I think that a year later I'd be talking to all of them? No. And this is one person. This is one of them that won't be talking to you again.
Okay, well, I just think that you're obviously jealous. You have to acknowledge that 9,000 people is a lot. 9,000 is absurd. Okay, I
No,
still can't
it's
even
not.
fathom 9,000 people listening to the stream. I
My
think that's
daughter
absurd.
posted a TikTok and got like 25,000 likes.
Who? 25,000 likes is not 9,000 people concurrently watching the stream.
And people that laugh at you.
What do you mean laughing at me? Most people, what are you talking about? Most people are not laughing at me in the stream. They're laughing at you.
No, I don't think so.
What are you talking about? If you were laughing at the guest
You
and not
vote-
at... Wait, hold up. If you're laughing at the guest
you want
and not
open
at
borders?
me,
Are you okay
type
with the
laughing
open
emojis
borders?
in the comment section. What's up?
You're okay with open borders?
I don't think that that's open borders, and no, I don't advocate for open borders. But I think that anyone undocumented in the
did
country...
you like what was going on under Biden those 4 years?
That
Did
wasn't
you
open
like that?
borders. Can you define open borders?
Not checking people that come in, or if you do check them, saying, don't worry about it, come back later, and never come back, wink, wink.
Okay, so we had restrictions on the border under the Biden-Harris administration. It's absurd for you to say that there were no restrictions on the border under the Biden-Harris
for Christ's
administration.
sake.
And the idea that you would say that there's an open border is literally a manufactured propagandistic lie that only people literally without basic critical thinking skills will believe, because you have to do a basic level of critical thought process in order to understand that there absolutely were restrictions, which would mean that there's not an open border. Secondly, you understand that Democrats want to deport those that have committed violent crimes and bad crimes, right? People who have committed violent offenses like Donald Trump, right? Violent sex
Such a bunch
offenses.
of
Right, we
shit.
don't want them into the country, but apparently you want them in the Oval Office.
No, you want them in the country, and you want to let them go 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 times. A guy just lit someone on fire in Chicago.
No,
Had been
we don't
arrested
think
how many times?
no. We did.
How many times? How many times was a guy in Chicago arrested?
Listen,
How many
hey,
times?
I think any person...
How many times?
Listen,
Answer it.
Here's my way of...
Answer me.
Listen.
I'll
let me
hang
address
up on
this.
you if you don't answer me.
I don't know.
How many
I don't
times
know
was a guy in
I don't even know the
Chicago
specific
arrested?
case you're referencing. I don't know.
2 days ago, he lit a person on fire on the train. How many times had he been arrested?
I don't know.
72.
Okay, this is under the Trump administration, right?
Yeah, he was arrested 72
Okay,
times
so
in
then
the
why
last,
are you blaming
in the
me?
last 60 days.
Why are you blaming me when it
I'm not-
happened under the Trump administration? What are you
Dude,
talking about?
I was being sarcastic. You think he was arrested 72 times in the last 6 months?
Dude,
Is
I
that
don't
what you
know.
really think?
I don't know the case you're referencing.
It was in fucking Chicago. Where do you think he was arrested, and who do you think was in charge?
Okay.
Look
so
it up.
if
Look
you're
it up.
talking about immigration enforcement,
no, you
that's
look that
federal.
up. That's one of thousands
immigration.
of
Wait,
examples.
listen.
Look it up,
Listen,
sunshine.
Listen.
Figure it out. I'm
Hey, dude.
out. You're
Hey,
a dick.
genius. Oh, you're gonna run away because you're scared. Aw. You're gonna run away because you're scared. You're a triggered little snowflake, and you have to run away to your safe space. Aw. Aw, let him run away to his little safe space because he can't engage in critical thinking skills. Aw. Look at him run away. Look at him run away. Susan, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you. Amanda with the $5. Thank you. Lily with the $2. I really appreciate it. Thank you. John with the $5. It looks like you can't even figure out how to leave the stream. Alyssa, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Alyssa. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Who's some W's for Alyssa in the comment section right now? Joe, thank you for the $10. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Kelsey with the 10. Steph, thank you so much. I really appreciate the 5. Gerald, thank you for the 10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, dude, you're still here. You want to have that conversation? Because you're literally just such a crybaby. You had to literally try to run away, but you're not tech savvy enough in order to actually run away from the stream, that you're still literally in the stream, and I can see it. Ron Madden, thank you for the 10 membership subscriptions. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Come on, stop rage quitting, bro. Come back. Have the conversation. Stop being scared of critical thought, of basic reasoning, of engaging in a mutual debate where you use actual intellectual thoughts. Jen, thank you for the $2. Luke, thank you for the $5. Owen, thank you for the €6. I really appreciate it. Ron with the $100. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for Ron in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Debbie with the 10. Mary, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Felonious, thank you so much. I really appreciate the 5. Oh, you're back. Hey, dude. Are you there? Hello? I hear you. I can hear the TV, dude. Oh, he left. He finally figured out how to leave. How did it take him that long to figure out how to leave, dude? That's so embarrassing, dude. That's embarrassing. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List in the TikTok screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. Let's go on to the next person here real quick. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up, Rob? How old are you? Oh, he left. Okay, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates.
Oh, shit.
How old are you? A fetus? Okay. That name is crazy for it being a fetus, by the way. That name was crazy for it being a fetus. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
49.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
His stance on abortion, his stance on immigration, taxes, a few other things. Where you want to start?
Let's start with taxes.
So
what do you like about his taxes?
I got a 7% tax break, and I'm grateful for that.
Okay. So do you make over $400,000 a year?
I do.
Okay. So you're saying because you get a small tax cut, right, under the Trump administration, you're willing to cut hundreds of thousands of children off of free school lunch and breakfast, over 420,000 children cut off of free school lunch and breakfast on average every single month through the big beautiful bill. Over 10 million people cut off their health insurance. And over 2.5 million people on average every month cut off the context of their food stamps. So it sounds like you care more about the slight extra money that you're going to get over $400,000 in income comparative to literally people getting their basic needs met.
Yeah, my tax break didn't have anything to do with people losing what they lost.
Yeah, it did, because it was through the big beautiful bill. The big beautiful bill not only gave you your tax break, but also cuts children off of free school lunch and breakfast, right? Cuts people off their access to health insurance and people off their access to food stamps in general to the degree of millions of people, right? And it still adds trillions of dollars to the debt to give massive tax breaks to you and other millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah, no, I got my tax break long before the big beautiful bill.
Okay, if referencing the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, is that what you're trying to reference? That was put into the big beautiful bill. That's an aspect of the big beautiful bill. Now, if you're referencing the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, are you saying that you disagreed with the level of taxation under the Biden-Harris administration?
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Do you disagree with the level of taxation that existed under the Biden-Harris administration?
No, I did good under their administration too.
Okay, so then what's your problem?
I don't have a problem. I don't know. I'm not sure why you think.
No, what's
I have
your
a problem
with Democrats? Like, why do you support Trump over Democrats? Because Donald Trump has literally advocated to execute Democrats in Congress who specifically just advocated for people who are in the government to not follow unlawful orders. Mm-hmm. He advocated for their execution, said that they've been engaging in seditious behavior, retweeted people saying, HANG them, George Washington would, with people who said that who had neo-Nazi profile pictures. So do you still support Donald Trump after doing all of that? Straight up going full-on fascist?
Parker, we were talking about taxes.
Yeah, I understand. And we're having a conversation. I'm saying, does this little bit of extra income that you're getting from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, in terms of the little bit of tax cut that you're going to get, worth, right, literally him threatening to murder his political opponents? Okay, I'm sorry, genuinely. How could you look at that and be like, you know what, that totally makes sense to me, that I care a little bit more about a few $1,000s extra that I'm going to get on my tax bill than literally the country not having a democratic process, literally not having the ability to disagree with the person who's in the position of presidency.
How did we go from taxes to murder?
I explained if you listened. Did you hear what I said?
No, the first thing you did was said...
Can you go closer to your microphone? It's kind of hard to hear you.
Yeah, I sure can. Okay. First thing, I didn't say anything about income. I said taxes. Okay. So you're referring to the few $1,000s that I got in income, and it's substantially more than that if you do roughly 8% of 400,000. Oh, let's just do 650. And
no, it depends on how much you make above 400,000.
$1,000. And also, We're talking about the tax break that I received, not the income, and nothing about murder. So if you don't mind, let's stay focused.
I explained it to you if you listened. Did you listen at all? Because I tried to explain it again, but it sounds like you couldn't actually track what I was saying.
No, I couldn't, because you went everywhere instead of I said I got a tax break.
Yeah. And I said, is a tax break worth all of these horrible things that are happening within our society? Does that make sense?
My tax break didn't come with the big beautiful bill. My tax break came
Tax Cuts and Jobs Act
before the big beautiful bill.
Yeah, you're referencing
And
the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which also added $2 trillion to the debt while giving massive tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires disproportionately.
Yeah, and that sounds good.
That does not sound good.
Unfortunately, I did not get any income out of it, because it allowed me to bless the employees that I have in order for them to have a better life.
You could do that either way. It's a tax deductible.
No, you can't do that on payroll.
What? Yes, you can. When you pay employees a wage, that is a tax deductible in terms of their wage, right?
At what point is it not tax deductible? Since you know so much, I can tell you.
You tell me. Go ahead. I think that would depend. Go ahead.
Are we talking state or federal?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It depends on state or federal. If you want to reference federal, go for it.
And then it allows me to compensate them for health care, and it also allows them to have more in their Social Security that they pay into, so when they retire, they have a greater Social Security check.
None of these are enlisted in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Tell me what provision allows for that.
No. It's not, but the simple fact is, when you get a payroll check and you pay more in, you get more back at the end of the day. And also, so if you work 20, 25 years and you decide to retire, your Social Security check will be more. And also, it freed up a few dollars for me to be able to compensate my employees.
What provision?
So that way they have.
What provision under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did you like? Because what you're talking about, right, it doesn't seem like it's tax policy that'd be any different under either administration.
Well, it changed my bottom line. And when my bottom line went up, I was able to take that extra income.
What specifically?
Through the business.
What provision within the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act led to this?
Well, you'd have to talk to an accountant about that.
No, you don't. I'm talking to a Trump supporter that is claiming that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is what's allowing for him to benefit in terms of a tax cut for something that doesn't even seem like it's applicable only through the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and something that seems like that's applicable under either administration's tax policy.
All right. So first off, I never mentioned the tax cut. None of that's been coming out of my mouth. The bottom line is, when I make more, my people are blessed. So therefore, I was able to take.
Well, not everyone's Jesus like you, and they have a profit incentive. They specifically only are going to give it down to their employees if they profit from it. So I would prefer a system that builds up the consumer base and everyone to have a base standard of living that everyone lives in terms of dignity. I think that would be good.
That's real anecdotal. And
anecdotal? How is that anecdotal?
Well, if you chose to do that, then that makes it anecdotal. That's a you thing. That's
How
not
is it? No, an anecdote would be like in a
thing.
personal experience. I didn't give you an explanation of a personal experience.
No, you didn't, but you said you, so you're being personal about it.
That doesn't mean it's an anecdote, genius.
Okay. Let's get back. Let's get back to the reality here. The fact of the matter is that I got a tax break, and my 8 employees benefited from it. So there you go.
Okay.
And for those
but
that don't
you're not really saying what specific policy that Trump passed led to that. You're just saying, oh, it happened. Under what years did you get the tax cut?
Oh wow, 17, 18-ish.
Okay. Okay, so you got it in 17, 18, but not any other time.
Well, since then, I mean, it's been pretty steady for what, 8 years?
Okay.
Ish.
So, isn't that an anecdote, by the way?
Well, it may be, but if you say it's me, it's anecdotal. But if you look at 8 other employees plus myself, that makes it 9. So therefore, it's not anecdotal.
No. It's a description of your anecdotal experience of what's happened in your life, right?
Well, then it is. It is what it is.
Okay.
So then I can say it's my experience, and
So you're using an anecdote of your experience and getting a tax cut to then justify supporting Donald Trump, who gives a tax increase to a lot of Americans because of the implementation of tariffs.
Well, and also, and this is anecdotal, but because I was able to make more, I was able to give more, I was able to tithe more, and therefore there's
Jesus,
a lot of people.
and Jesus also did that too. So what's your point there? Because we understand from an economic perspective, we can't just literally view it from, oh, what would the most, the nicest capitalist do in this circumstance? No, we have to look at what's typically going to happen in the markets, and then we have to respond, right, from a governmental perspective in terms of what's going to be or lead to the best outcomes for people who are in the context of the market, right,
Let's
on
be
average.
real. I'm not the only one doing it, and I'm not the only one not doing it. So
Okay, you might not be the only one doing it, but proportionally it's unlikely because they're going to do what's profit maximizing. And that's not always the case that it's profit maximizing.
Well, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, there are other people out there that owns businesses that are not.
I just want to let you know, all the tax cuts that you got for income under $400,000 a year will stay the same. Okay, all of that will stay the same. But Kamala Harris just wanted to increase your taxes on the income over $400,000. So not income up to $400K, income over $400K.
You do understand if I have to pay more taxes, then there's going to be people that I have to let go, right?
No,
there's going to be people that
you're
are
going to be
unemployed.
fine. You're going to be fine.
I will be, but they won't.
No, you're not going to increase the amount of jobs you have just because you got a slight increased tax bill on your personal income that you're taking out on income over 400,000 by a few percentage points. Get a grip, dude.
Why would
you're just greed? This is greed. This is greed. It's your
hold on,
personal
hold on,
income
hold on.
over 400,000. Why don't you eat it rather than making your employees eat it? If you care so much, if you're so noble, if you're so good to your employees, why don't you eat it? If it is the case that your income is already over $400,000 a year.
Let me tell you, I have eaten it, and during COVID.
Okay, well then you can eat it all the way up to your 400K, right? You can make 400K in a year, and you can eat it up all to that point. And then if you eat it up all to that point, well then you don't even have an increase in your tax. Did you know that? No increase in your taxes if you make $400,000 in a year. No increase. Actually, if anything, you'd have a decrease because you don't have tariffs implemented. So what about all the tariffs? Don't tariffs impact your business?
Unfortunately, I don't. The cusp isn't 400,000, so it's hard for me to hide.
400,000. Kamala Harris said that she would keep all the tax cuts for income. Kamala Harris said she would keep all the tax cuts for income earners under $400,000 a year.
Calm down. Calm down.
I'm completely calm. I'm completely calm.
Calm down. Okay. It's hard for me to hide.
You have to tell me that you have to tell me to calm down in order to distract away from the argument that I just provided to you that clearly demonstrates that you're wrong and being ridiculous.
Okay. When you start making 650, you get back with me. How about
that? So then you can eat 250, right? And you're going to be no tax increase under Kamala Harris, and right, your employees aren't going to have to lose a job. So eat 250. That's multiple employees' salaries, right? You're such a noble and good employer, right? You're going to give you the extra income that you're going to get from tax cuts. You're going to give it to your employees, right? Oh, but now you're not going to say that. Now you're going to say you're going to pass it to the employees so that they lose their jobs so that you can continue to keep your profits at $650,000 in income over a year. Because you don't want to pay the little bit of extra taxes on the $250,000 of income that you made over $400,000 in a year.
It would cost me about $125,000, which is 2 employees. I could pay 2 employees an extra $62,500 a year, and I would have 10 employees, and
then you would have no tax increase. You'd still make $400K in a year. You'd have no tax increase.
No. I would. Personally, I would.
No, because if you make $400,000 in a year, Kamala Harris's plan would lead to you paying no more in taxes, if anything less, because the tariffs would not be implemented.
There's tariffs doesn't have anything to do with this. You're
Yes,
all
they
over the
do.
map.
Tariffs are a tax, and they affect businesses. So if we're comparing the different administrations' taxes, we have to talk about
Tariffs don't
tariffs
affect
because the Trump administration has implemented it, and they don't impact your company at all.
No, sir.
You get none of your products from other countries.
I have American-made goods.
Everything's 100% American. Even the producers produce everything. All the materials come from the United States.
I have American-made goods with American-made labor.
And American materials?
American-made goods with American-made labor.
What about material?
Goods.
Yeah, so you assemble the goods in America. Does that mean that the materials came from America?
100% American-made.
So materials come from America.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on.
100% America. Okay, great for you, man.
100%
100% America.
It's a good
Great
thing.
for you.
It's a good thing.
That's incredible, man. I wonder how you do it. But the point that I want, the point that I would make,
of, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed.
You're blessed. You're blessed. You think God blessed you?
100%, 200%.
Why did God bless you but not me?
Do you tithe?
Do I? No, I don't.
Yeah. Do you know about 30, 60, and 100 folds?
No, I have no clue.
Okay. So when you tithe, you give the first 10% to the church.
So you give 10% of your income to the church?
Absolutely. No, no, I'm lying.
And you're saying,
I'm lying. I lied. I give over 10%.
So you just sinned?
But the first 10% is the tithe. Okay. There's 4 types of giving. There's alms.
But that's not required, right? And also, are you really saying that you're blessed because you pay money to the church, and I'm not blessed because I don't pay money to the church?
No. I'm not blessed because I pay.
So why are you blessed and I'm not?
I'm blessed because of my beliefs, and I read scripture and I understand that the concept of 30, 60, and 100 fold. So the foundation is that I believe Jesus Christ died for my sins.
Okay, so because
therefore, it's not paying. I feel like it is a honor to give.
So you're blessed. You're blessed because you
paying,
believe in then Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, right? So then why are there Christians that are not blessed?
It's an honor. I don't know any that aren't.
So you think every Christian is blessed?
Absolutely.
So even Christians that starve to death? Like you understand that many Christians, millions of people starve to death every single year. You're saying Christians who have starved to death, you're telling me that they're blessed?
Absolutely.
That doesn't make any sense to me. How does that mean that they're blessed?
Are they walking with Jesus?
What? What do you mean?
Well, if you're a Christian, you walk with Jesus, and you understand.
If God is blessing them, why didn't He bless them with food? Why didn't He provide food, manna from the sky, like He did in the Bible?
When you walk with Jesus, you understand that you're exactly where you need to be, and if that means that you're poor, and let me tell you, I come from poverty, and I walk with Jesus. Then I've been hungry, I've starved. I've been without. I've slept on the streets.
Again, if you believe in this all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good God, starvation's gone. Literally, God could make our biology in such a way in which we do not require food to survive. Okay? God could make starvation go away with a snap of a finger like Thanos. Okay?
He does.
Why does God not do that?
He does.
He does? So then there's no starvation in our world.
You live in the world, and that's just it. When we
there is starvation in this world. Millions of people starve to death every single year. There is world hunger. We should end it. There should be no world hunger. But the point I'm making is that God could, and it's gone. And there's still free will. It doesn't get rid of your free will. So why doesn't God snap away starvation? He could easily do it. God's all-knowing. God's all-powerful. God's all good. Why doesn't God do that?
He does.
He does. So then, again, under your view, there's no starvation. Appreciate
We
Kitty
were in the
thinking
Garden of Eden.
What?
We were in the Garden of Eden. When sin entered the world that you live in, therefore you're no longer in fortunate enough to be in His presence. When you pass and you are in His presence, you are no longer starved. You are rich. There's streets of gold, pearly gates. So therefore, this short breath that we live passes.
Why can't God just send us directly to heaven without going to earth in the first place?
It's called sin.
Okay, so but before sin even existed, wait, but before you existed, did you sin? Did your soul sin? No. So God should have just sent you directly to heaven in the same way that aborted fetuses go to heaven, under your view, right? He could have sent you directly to heaven without sending you to earth in the first place. If heaven is better than earth, why didn't God do that? If He's all good, all knowing, all powerful, He knows that it's better. He has the power to send you there. He has the knowledge and the capacity to send you there. Why doesn't He do it?
I was in an earthly body that sinned.
Again, before you were in the earthly body, your soul. God knew you before you were in your earthly body, correct? Why didn't God send your soul directly to heaven?
Because He gave me the opportunity to come and bless people.
Okay, so again, you wouldn't need to bless people if every wait. Well, listen, you wouldn't need to bless anyone. Listen. You wouldn't listen. Listen. By the way, you are not blessing us in this conversation. One, two. You wouldn't need to bless. You wouldn't need to bless people. Listen, you wouldn't need to bless people if God sent every soul directly to heaven. Okay, there would be no blessings needed because everything would be perfect.
He gave us the opportunity to come here and accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior.
We would have already done that if He sent us directly to heaven, right? Because again, that's what you think is morally correct, and that would have happened in heaven, as you think there are no imperfections in heaven.
Where is your opportunity to do that if you're not here in the sinful world?
Huh?
Where is your opportunity to do that if you're not here in this sinful world?
Okay, so do aborted fetuses that go directly to heaven, do they specifically get that? Do they get that choice?
I like to believe that, but I can't answer that question. I wholeheartedly believe that is 100% how it is, and rightfully so, because they weren't afforded the opportunity for choice. Hold on. They weren't afforded the opportunity for choice. So the choice was made for them. That's my belief. Can I prove it? No. But yeah. So and you use the word fetus. Unfortunately, the word is human being, according to studies and the pediatric clinic and scientists everywhere. And maybe you should address it as humans. So once you get the ability to make the decision for right and wrong and understand sin, you also should understand that there's someone that died for your sins and paid the price for you in order for you to enter the gates of heaven or hell.
Okay, so you think I'm going to go to hell?
Good question, Parker. I hope not, and I pray for you. And
but no, if I believe what I believe right now, if I were to die right now, would I go to hell?
I don't know what you believe.
I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic atheist. It means I don't know what is the cause of the universe, and I don't believe it's a God. Would I go to hell under your view?
I mean, man, do I think that? Look, man, I hate to even touch that, bro.
Do you think hell is eternal fire?
Yes.
Okay, so then here's my question. If I were to die right now, do you think I should burn for all of eternity?
I'm just not going to touch it, bro. I'm
asking the question. Do you think I should burn?
I'm not a judge.
If I were to die right now, should I burn for all of eternity just because I don't believe a God exists?
I'm not here for your eternal.
Well, I just want to ask you the question. If that's true, if I were to die right now without believing in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in a God, right? Should I burn for the rest of eternity under your view?
Here is, I'll give you the best answer I can. According to Scripture, which is God breathed, yes, you will.
I Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next person. By the way, his view is that I should literally. He's not like super wanting to say it, but his view literally comes down to the idea that Parker, just because he's an atheist, and by the way, every person of every other religion on the planet, if they were to die right now, that they would burn alive for the rest of eternity. That's an absurd standpoint. And his view is not just that that would happen. His view is that that should happen because it's God ordained under his view. That's absurd. He literally believes in the torturing eternity of atheists just because they're atheists. That's absurd. I just want everyone to know that. By the way, you do not have to be Christian and believe in that. You can be Christian without believing in eternal fucking burning alive. Okay? That's an absurd standpoint that I would say most Christians I've met in my life do not believe. Okay? Unless you're going to find someone like debating on the stream or something like that. Like, most Christians I've met in real life definitely do not hold that interpretation. That's an absurd interpretation. At least, I mean, okay, you know what? It's where I live. I grew up non-denominational, so that's probably also what it is. But for many of their denominations, they might have different perspectives. But let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List on the TikTok screen. Hey, I can't wait to burn with all of you, everyone. Can't wait to burn with all of you. I love y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Gina Lees, thank you so much. I really appreciate the dollar. Thank you, Gina Lees. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Christina, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Corey, thank you for the $2. I'll make sure to look for that. That's crazy. What the fuck? John, thank you for the $5. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Amanda, thank you for the $10. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And Mark, thank you for the 10. All right, let's go on to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get out to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, yo, I accidentally requested my back.
You're good. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Anna, thank you for the $10 fried. Nobody else I'd rather burn with than the Parker Cole. I know, right? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, hello? 19.
What's your birth year?
2003.
Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What was that?
Fetus. That was Fetus Parker, everyone. That was Fetus Parker. I was about to say, is it Evil Parker? But no, it was Fetus Parker. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
27.
Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Okay, what's your birth year?
1998.
Okay, and if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
100% Donald Trump.
Okay, so why do you support Donald Trump?
I mean, there are some things I'm splitting with Donald Trump on, but holistically, I do. Sure, right? I'm not like rank and file, though I do support Donald Trump with his policy on immigration, his policy on how he's treating narco terrorists or T groups, sending narcotics and all the other things to the United States.
I don't know if you can say that on the live. I think I have to go into the next person. If you have another account, you should hop in the guest box. I just want to be safe. I do feel like I'm gonna get the live taken down, or not taken down, but restricted in terms of push if I kept them up. So. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. If you're on YouTube, again, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you're on YouTube, let's get to 2,000 likes, everyone. I think we should easily be able to. Mill, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Vampire with the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Vampire. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty, let's go on the next individual real quick. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Only send a guest request again if you meet that set of criteria. Chloe, thank you for the $5. Thank you. I know, right?
Hello?
Yo, it's about you.
19.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
Trump.
What's your birth year?
2006.
And what month?
November.
What day?
Sorry?
What day?
6.
Okay. All right. Let me say thank you to someone real quick, and then we can go into our conversation. Madden, thank you so much. Or Maiden, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Ron, I really appreciate the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Groups of W's for Ron in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty. Okay, so why do you support Trump?
Probably just because it was the only option, I feel like, in that election.
Kamala Harris was another option. Why didn't you pick Kamala Harris?
I just don't feel like it'd be a viable option. I feel like it would just be like a continuation of Biden's policy more than something different.
Okay, what's bad with Biden's policy that you disagree with so much that you're willing to support Donald Trump?
Probably like the amount that they funded Israel's genocide in Palestine.
Okay, so you know that Trump does that to a greater extent, and then also Netanyahu himself said that Trump is Israel's greatest ally they've ever had in the position of presidency. So if you believe that's true, well then you must agree specifically that Donald Trump is worse for that.
Well, obviously, I don't support either of their positions on that, but at least, Trump got a ceasefire in Palestine.
Donald Trump was originally advocating for, quote unquote, finishing the job when she was advocating for a ceasefire. So if you wanted a ceasefire earlier, then you would have supported the Democrats' plan, not the Republicans.
Well, the Democrats had 4 years to get a ceasefire, and they didn't.
4 years?
What are you talking
about? What are you talking about, 4 years?
From 2020 to 2024?
No, 2021 to 2025. And then also, that's not the entire... You're referencing the conflict between Israel and Hamas, right? Right, where they were...
No, in
the genocide of the Palestinian people? Funded by the United States? Yeah, that was... You're referencing after October 7th, right? No, okay, so you're referencing prior to that?
Well, when I said Trump caused a ceasefire, yes, I was referencing after October 7th, but when I said the Democrats in that situation, that I was referencing before.
Okay, so just like the typical funding that was being given to Israel? That also Trump engaged in?
Yeah, but I'm saying so Trump at least got a ceasefire.
Again, this is an irrelevant... Again, Trump advocated for a ceasefire after the Democrats planned to get a ceasefire. Democrats were advocating for a ceasefire.
But whose administration was executed over?
It's currently being executed under Trump. So Trump's allowed for Israel to engage in mass starvation of the Palestinian people to a degree that didn't exist under the Biden-Harris administration. Not to say that the Biden-Harris administration did something to prevent it to the degree that I advocate for, but I would specifically say that Donald Trump has done so to a greater extent, and I think that's very true, and Netanyahu himself says that.
Well, can I ask you, do you agree with Biden and Kamala Harris's stance on Israel?
No.
Sorry? Kamala? Is it Kamala or Kamala?
Kamala. I don't agree with
Kamala.
That stance.
And do you think Israel's committing a genocide?
Yes.
So how do you support politicians who support a genocide?
Well, I think that I would vote for the harm reduction in the scenario, which would be the Democrats.
Well, what have the Democrats done in the past to make the situation better?
We've already mentioned this. It was Donald Trump saying, quote unquote, finish the job. Kamala Harris saying ceasefire, alongside many other domestic policies and foreign policy issues. I'm sorry, Donald Trump also called for the execution of Democrats. Some Democrats for literally just saying, don't follow unlawful orders. Donald Trump has murdered over 60 people off the coast of Venezuela with absolutely no evidence given to Congress, right? And even if they did have DRUGS, they specifically should have been detained once they get to U.S. waters. Donald Trump's also been held civilly liable of sexually abusing women. He's bragged about walking in the changing rooms with naked women while they're changing without their consent. All of these things are not true about Democrats, like Kamala Harris.
Well, I personally believe that that's a deflection because we're talking about a certain topic. We're not talking about South America
We're
or any of
talking
those
about
issues.
you asked me how do I support specifically the Democrats over the Republicans, and I'm giving you an explanation for that. We weren't just talking about one specific topic when you asked that question. We were talking about an overall. Let me please finish. We were talking about an overall analysis of both candidates to say why I supported one candidate over the other one, considering a specific thing like that we were referencing, which I did, and I showed you. Not only is Donald Trump worse, particularly on the issue that you brought up, but he's also worse across the board, which gives you reason to support Democrats over Republicans. So would you like to actually engage with the argument that I provided, or do you just want to keep repeating the same talking point?
Can you summarize? Well, can I ask you a question? If you think this is a repetition, then we'll go back to what you were saying. Okay, is that cool? Cool. Do you think the actions the actions that have been done by Trump versus Biden and Harris is it favoring the Republicans or the Democrats? Just straight actions, not words, in Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, I think that Trump is doing worse in terms of action. Yes.
How come?
How come? What the unprecedented level of starvation that happened under the Trump administration comparative to the Biden-Harris administration, right? And also, by the way, you can't just like not take into account the words that they're saying because they're talking about their positions that they support. Right.
That's true.
Also, you have to talk about the amount of people, right, and the amount of buildings that were completely destroyed to a significantly greater extent. Now, again, not to say that I agree with the Democrats on this, but I have to acknowledge the reality that the Democrats on this issue are not as bad as the Republicans.
Well, do you think it would be better? Like what's going on right now would be better if Harris was elected?
Yes.
Did the Biden administration make any real progress in that area under their administration?
They had a ceasefire in place before Trump got in office that they were about to get through.
Well, when was that?
Right before they left.
Okay, but you still think that it's... All right, you want to go back to what you were talking about then?
Yeah, the point I'm saying is that you're willing to overlook all these atrocious and horrible things about Donald Trump, that he was held civilly liable of sexually abusing women, that he undermines our democracy, called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. He's a fascist. We can give you all these different examples of things that are absolutely atrocious about Donald Trump that you're not even willing to engage with.
No, I think definitely that what he did in office, that's not okay. Like the abuse, of course, his relationship with Epstein, but I'm just not justifying him being a worse president. Not as a person, but as a president towards the country than, say, Biden or Harris. I mean, I feel like economically, the corporate tax cuts, the unemployment rate went down, I think, 3.7%, if I'm right.
No, it was 3.5%. It was 3.4 2 separate months under the Biden-Harris administration. Secondly, since Trump's got in office, we've seen an increase in unemployment, and we've seen multiple months where there's been a decreasing amount of jobs. Right, new jobs for that month. So if you actually want to reference the jobs numbers, the employment and jobs numbers are worse off right now since Trump got in office because of his destructive economic policy.
What's that policy?
Yeah, tariffs. And massive tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires. Also his mass deportation policy.
Yeah. Well, do you think personally illegal immigration is bad or good for the country?
I think that we should give undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country, because immigration is positive for the economy. And I think that undocumented immigration is negative for the undocumented immigrants themselves, and that's why we should give them a pathway to citizenship. I don't want them to be exploited, because under current law, they're able to be exploited because they don't have legal citizenship or even legal status.
Yeah, I think immigration definitely, like, legal should be expanded, but can I ask you, do you think entering the country unlawfully is good for the country or bad for the country?
I don't even think it's bad for the country if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime under our current immigration law, because our current immigration law takes so long to get into the country through the legal process.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Well, I mean, when illegal immigrants, I don't know how else to phrase it, but when people come to this country illegally and they have children, those children cost annually billions of dollars.
Wait, those children are U.S. citizens.
Yes, I know.
What's wrong with that?
Personally, I believe, besides Canada, every single developed country in the world has a law where you have to have at least one parent be legal in the country for their child to count.
Do you agree or disagree with the Constitution?
I mean, do I think the Constitution is perfect? I mean, it was written by
No, I'm asking
like
you, do you
racist
agree?
slave owners.
No,
No.
I'm asking you, do you agree or disagree with the Constitution in this sense? Right, in terms of
In what sense?
in terms of people who are born in the country, right, specifically are granted citizenship.
Well, I don't agree with every single
Believe in
aspect of it, no.
birthright citizenship.
Not, well, yes, but not the way it is in our country right now.
Not the way it is in our country.
So, like I said earlier, that almost, like literally
And
every
also,
single
by the way,
developed
and also,
country.
by the way, if you don't
Can I
want to support that because of the fact that the founding fathers were racist slave owners, why are you okay with the Trump administration actively undermining that idea that the facts of evidence indicate that's true? And he says that we should stop, quote unquote, obsessing on the past, right?
Okay, can I finish the point I was going to make?
Okay.
So I was going to say that every single developed country in the world besides Canada and the US have a system where at least one of the parents have to be citizens of that country for the child to be a citizen on birthright. And because we don't have that here, because of healthcare and education costs, it's costing us billions and billions of dollars annually from those children.
Well, I have no issue with paying for like legal citizens access to schooling if they're children.
Well, do you care about something that stems from? Sorry, do the means justify the ends?
What? I just said that again. A legal
coming here
citizen
illegal-
who's a child should get education. Are you saying we shouldn't give them access to education?
No, I think that you should. It shouldn't even be a problem because you should have at least one parent has to be U.S. citizen. Because we're losing. I mean, people are committing crimes.
So you're saying they shouldn't be citizens? They should be deported? Those children?
No, I feel like for the people.
Those
Well, if
children
I had
shouldn't
to
be
make.
deported.
No, listen. If I was president, I would forgive the people that came in illegally because we're changing the constitution, we're making an amendment, and we help them become citizens. But starting from now on, this wouldn't be allowed. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Wait, dude. So then you hold a view to the left of the Democratic Party. Okay, you want to give a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime. Now, if you want to enforce laws in the future, given that there is a quick legal immigration process, then yeah. I'd love to hear it.
Oh, you'd like me to say that again? Sorry.
Say it again?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Hello?
Oh, can you ask your question again?
I think what was it about? I think it was about the Constitution. I read something and
it was about forgiving undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, do you think that undocumented immigrants should be given a pathway to citizenship if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime?
Yes. If I were in charge or something, before we change making a new amendment to the
Democratic
Constitution.
Party.
Yeah, I'm not completely right leaning. I don't agree with every single thing that Republicans do. I don't think anybody agrees with anything a complete party does.
So there's it's if you're to the left of the Democratic Party on immigration, why would you say you agree with Donald Trump because of immigration? Aaron,
Because
you're amazing.
I think that the money that's costing U.S. citizens, that illegal immigrants are causing, the money that we're losing should not be allowed. And I think deportation and stricter immigration laws would help solve that.
So again, if you're talking about birthright citizenship, this is a legal immigration process. So actually, stricter immigration laws would not. Unless you had some type of different interpretation in terms of the Constitution, or if you had a different, specifically, like a different law passed through Congress or something that would uphold.
Well, illegal immigration causes these children to be born, which causes money. So the whole problem
not that you have
stems
to
from
amend
illegal
it.
immigration.
You'd have to amend the Constitution.
Yes, you would. I said But illegal immigration causes this birthright, the child to be birthed, which causes us to lose billions of dollars annually.
Again, you keep saying this, right? Again, you understand that overall, kids in their lifetime will end up paying more into the tax system than they took out specifically in terms of education. Otherwise, you'd be saying that you don't support immigration in which people bring over children, because then that we're gonna have to pay for their children to get access to education.
Well, legal immigration actually brings a great boost to the economy, but illegal immigration, I don't see any proof that it brings.
You just said that they should be given a pathway to citizenship if they've not committed a violent crime or bad crime.
Yes,
then
under
they
this-
should be considered
under the
legal
law.
immigrants. So then you do think that they should be given access to this because you do think that they should be legal immigrants. So what's your point?
If I had to choose here, everyone who came in illegally now, and they haven't, like you said, committed illegal violent crime, or whatever, they could stay, and we'd help them on their path to citizenship. And we tighten the border process and make it easier for legal immigration to occur, not illegal immigration, because as you know.
You don't. Okay.
So
again,
can I finish
I
just one point? Just one point.
I
Sorry.
understand your position.
Sorry.
I don't see how you're. Go ahead.
With this border system that illegal immigration is occurring, it's not just only the problem that legal immigration is occurring. You know, thousands of tons of illegal drugs, that enough to kill the entire U.S. population, is coming through the country. Well, I think it's 20% of women that come through illegally are to get sexually assaulted. So we need to make legal immigration easier and illegal immigration harder to benefit the country and people trying to come to this country.
Okay, a few things here. Most DRUGS that are brought across the border are brought by U.S. citizens, over 90%. Okay, I just want to clarify that. If you want to reference undocumented immigrants, you care about the undocumented immigrants, you don't want them to be exploited or assaulted, then the way to reduce that is not by voting in a guy held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. The way to do that is by providing a pathway to citizenship in which they can stay in the country, because that would incentivize them to get access to legal status, where they don't have to leave the country and they can quickly get access to that, so it would reduce the likelihood of that happening. But again, if you cared about that, you wouldn't vote for a guy who's a predator, who's admitted himself to sexual exploitation and literally been held civilly liable of sexual abuse.
Yeah, like I said, I don't support like 90% of, or more than 90% of the person who thinks Trump is done.
No, it's not about. No, you can't just overlook that. You can't just say that you use that as an argument and then just overlook this in terms of.
Okay, let me just get one point in. If I can have a president who is a creep, why can you support a president who funds a genocide in Palestine?
No, what I'm saying is that you're referencing a relevant distinction, right? Kamala Harris has not been held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. Donald Trump has, okay? I would definitely like to shift the position in terms of the Democratic Party, specifically on Israel, but what you're not understanding is that both sides have that position. If anything, Donald Trump's position on that is worse. So what you brought up is something that's not a relevant distinction. What I've brought up are relevant distinction after relevant distinction after relevant distinction after relevant distinction after relevant distinction, okay?
Okay, can you support a president who's... Sorry, what would you classify Trump as in your own words?
Again, what do you mean? I just told you a million different things.
Let's name one that's like one of the worst ones.
He was held civilly liable. He's a rapist.
All right, let's say that. So you support... Well, I mean, was he held legally liable for rape?
He was held liable for forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will, unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people.
Okay, so obviously that's horrible. I did not know that, so I would not support a president who did something like that.
Okay, wait, so then you don't support Trump?
Well, can I get one point in? Because you're dodging the Palestine thing.
No, I'm not. I've talked about this a million times.
Can I just get one point? Just one point, please.
No, because you admit. I want you to admit this. Do you not support Donald Trump then? Would you not vote for him?
I support him as a president.
So you do support him. So you would support someone who's been held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman?
Would you support someone who funds a genocide in Palestine? Yes, you would. Because you support
given that it exists on both sides, I would say that it's not a relevant distinction. So I can't actually engage in harm reduction.
It's a question of morals. It's a question of morals.
It is a question of morals. Yeah, and the morals here, to indicate harm reduction, what would be better for harm reduction would be Democrats over Republicans. Not saying I agree with Democrats, but saying that they're better than Republicans. You're not even willing to engage with this point. You have to bring up something that's a relevant distinction. You can't bring up something that's true on both sides. When Biden
called himself the only Zionist president in the history of America, when he said
that's not what he said. And even if he did say that, he's wrong.
He said you don't have to be Jewish to be Zionist.
That's true. He did say that.
And he said,
what's your point?
And he's taking billions of dollars from AIPAC.
I don't dispute that.
Okay, so you don't...
Again, so is Trump.
So you're willing to... you're not able to support someone who did something, obviously terrible, like you mentioned before, but you're able to support someone who's funding a genocide. Is that what you're saying?
This is true on both sides. Trump does that to a greater extent.
Yes.
And I'm giving you something listen, I'm giving you something that's relevantly different. I'm engaging in the harm reduction perspective, right? Democrats or Republicans are going to be the ones in office. It's either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. In what scenario do you think Donald Trump would be the preferable option to Kamala Harris? And if you can't mention the particular scenario, then you're going to sit there and you're going to virtue signal to me.
In what case?
Saying that you're doing the thing that's morally correct when I'm actively advocating for the thing that will lead to less harm targeted towards people. and it will lead to people being significantly better off. You're not even taking into account all of the different genocides that are happening in the world that Donald Trump has perpetuated, specifically in engagements with Saudi Arabia, specifically in their genocide of the Yemenis people.
Yeah, in Yemen,
right?
yeah.
We can also reference specifically how Donald Trump has actively murdered people off the coast of Venezuela, right? Specifically, indiscriminately, with absolutely no evidence given to Congress specifically that they've done so, or that they've committed any of these particular types of crimes. We can actively point towards the things that Donald Trump's engaged in on a world stage. Not only just that, but also would be applicable here in the United States in terms of the lack of healthcare policy and childcare policy and access to food in this country because of Republican policy, where it's going to be millions and millions of people that are affected in terms of healthcare access, in terms of food security, in terms of their access to basic things, right? Children, even to the degree of 420,000 children on average every single month, and you're willing to overlook all of that. You're willing to overlook all of the victims that have been assaulted by Donald Trump, right? Because you're willing to say that you just want to feel morally better, right? In your own fucking view. And I'm telling you, what is the harm reduction in this scenario? Is it voting for Kamala Harris or is it voting for Donald Trump? Because at the end of the day, you sit there and you let it happen. Nothing, you don't vote for anyone in that scenario. What happens? Donald Trump gets into the position of power. What happened? What has happened under the Trump administration?
Every single president has bad policies that have affected people. I bet you didn't care.
It's not just bad policies. We're showing you how it's, I actively showed you how it was worse. I didn't just say it was bad policy. I showed you how it was worse.
Okay, but if you're talking about Trump's, bad healthcare policy, etc., what about Obama increasing the bombing in the Middle East by 1,000% in drone strikes, killing 90% of civilians in the Middle East?
And Trump increased those drone strikes by 400%. To comparing to Obama's levels.
If we're talking about Obama, can you support that?
Well, I think it's better than the Republicans, because I think the Republicans would have done it to a significantly greater extent. Now, is it something that I think is good? Absolutely not. I absolutely disagree with that. I am vehemently anti-war, anti-drone striking countries around the world, anti-interventionist in most scenarios, right? But the fact of the matter is that if we're comparing Obama to Trump, Obama's clearly preferable. If we're comparing Biden to Trump, Biden's clearly preferable. Comparing Kamala Harris to Trump, Kamala Harris is significantly more preferable comparative to Donald Trump. And if you can't sit there and acknowledge that, then you're going to sit there and say that Donald Trump, the guy who's admitted to sexual exploitation, been held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, calls for the murder of Democrats, specifically who literally just said do not follow unlawful orders and uphold the Constitution, called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, disproportionately causes an increase in taxes for working class Americans, cuts people off their access to food stamps, right, health insurance, right, access to education, right, and plenty of different things that are relevant to their quality of life here in this country and for people around the entire world. And you're willing to overlook all of that. Why?
Okay, I'm saying my point is that you can overlook bad things presidents done. How can overlook bad things presidents done?
I don't overlook it. I'm looking at an all things considered analysis.
Okay, but if it's not a Democrat. Let's say, for example, in the Obama administration, drone strikes increased by 1,000%. Do you think that would happen to Republicans, or is it just Obama being a war criminal?
Trump increased drone strikes by 400% compared to Obama.
Where's it?
And I don't even know where you got this.
If you don't mind, can you give me? You can check it yourself.
What, tell me, what's the source?
Well, it's a statistic. Well, can you tell me the source for the other one? Because it's off my mind. I don't have the exact thing pulled up in front of me. But can you pull up the Trump drone strike statistic, please?
I'm pretty sure it's Chicago Sun-Times, if you'd like to look that up. Would you like to... Are you going to look that up right now or later?
I thought you were going to check it for me. Sorry.
I just told you.
Oh, is it? Can you read just the part where it says that on the article? Where it says what did you say, 400%?
I'm telling you the article. If you want to look it up, go for it. I'm not going to read the article to you.
Oh, what's the name of the article?
Yeah.
Sorry? You got the name of the article?
I told you it's from the Chicago Sun-Times.
Yeah, but if I just search up Chicago Sun-Times, the article won't come up.
400% more drone strikes, you'll find it, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I'd like to say thank you for having me. I just want to say I don't support Trump. I just want to see your issue on your perspective on Palestine. I apologize for breaking the rules.
I just want to let you know something. You just wasted how long of my time? You just wasted how long
Because
of
you,
the stream
you
time?
support
So
genocide
20
in
so-
Palestine. You support
No,
Biden
no,
who
I
supports
don't.
genocide in
No, I
Palestine.
don't. I vehemently
Yes, you do.
disagree with it. But you're going to be a dishonest fuck and try to portray me that way?
Well, you
Wait,
can't, you can't
and that's I
support
have a
a
question. I have a
Democratic
question.
president
Would
who
you
supports genocide.
would you vote for Harris? Did you vote for Harris?
Would I vote for Harris? No, because she supports a genocide.
You didn't? Okay, so then you wouldn't vote. So what happens? Trump gets into office. What's happened since Trump got in office? So you feel morally superior. What's happened though? Marginalized communities
Either
are
way, it would
negatively
be bad.
impacted. People have a lack of access to healthcare. He's actively advocated to execute Democrats. Okay, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna act like that doesn't matter? You're gonna act like that didn't affect people?
didn't vote
You're gonna
for
act
Trump,
like you're gonna act and you feel like morally superior? Do you feel morally superior for sitting out an election where literally Donald Trump gets into a position of power, a literal rapist who undermines our democracy, undermines our constitution, undermines people's constitutionally protected rights, and literally marginalized communities
And
are
you're
negatively
supporting
impacted
a
to a significantly
president
greater
who's
extent?
best friends with a dictator in Israel, Netanyahu.
You didn't
Biden is
listen.
best
You didn't
friends with
listen.
Netanyahu.
You didn't listen.
I
You
did
didn't
listen.
listen
I
at
heard
all.
what you said.
Which one's
And no.
significantly worse?
They were both equally as bad. This is a false dichotomy.
Let me ask you this question.
You can choose not to
Can
vote
I
for
give you
either,
a
or
trolley
you can vote
example?
independent. You
I have
can
a
vote
question.
independent.
I have a question. All right,
It's a false dichotomy.
the Joker kidnaps you, okay? Right, and he says he's going to either murder one person or he's going to murder 100,000 people. Right, in that scenario, which would you rather do?
That's a faulty comparison, but I'll go with one.
You said with one. Okay, so wait. So you know, murdering one person's bad, though, right?
Okay, would you rather?
But you think it's preferable that one person is murdered to 100,000 people being murdered. And if you believe that to be true, and if you would do that in that particular scenario, well then please explain to me why you can't acknowledge it in this scenario that if there's a harm reduction that's very clear to the degree of tens of thousands, millions of people, there's no harm reduction? You absolute liar. You absolute liar. You said there's no harm reduction? So you're saying that there's no difference between the Harris administration and the Trump administration in terms of food access, healthcare access, education access? You're saying there's no difference on a foreign policy standpoint around the entire world in terms of our democracy, our constitution, our rule of law? You're saying that there's no distinction, Noah? Are you going to deny reality? Are you going to sit here and deny reality right now?
I'm saying Biden had 4 years to stop
Answer
Israel. He
the
didn't do
question.
anything.
Answer the question. Was there a distinction? Yes or no?
Between?
Yeah. Is there a distinction between Harris and Trump? Yes? You just contradicted yourself. Get the fuck off my stream. You're a dishonest piece of shit for coming up on the live stream and sitting here and saying that about me because you want to feel morally superior sitting out when people are going to be harmed to the degree of tens of millions of people in this country. Tens of millions of people in this country negatively impacted because of that. It is diabolical that, one, you wasted 25 minutes of my time where I had to focus specifically on an argument from particularly someone on the left who realizes the harm that Trump engages in instead of being able to actually fight against the right, specifically against people who are sitting here justifying sexual exploitation, are justifying all these different horrible things, right? And you're going to sit there and say that there's no distinction between them. By the way, you saying there's no distinction between Harris and between Trump is the exact same fucking dumb shit that Trump supporters come up on the live and justify the sexual exploitation. When they say it doesn't matter, when they say it doesn't mean anything, you're doing the exact same thing when you say that Harris is equivalent to Trump. The exact same thing. You're saying it doesn't mean anything. And that is dishonest bullshit that I'm not willing to accept from anyone on the left nor the right. It is absolutely atrocious. Push the galaxy. And it is literally denying sexual exploitation. It's denying all of those things that he did. To sit up there and say that they are equivalent. And it's dishonest as fuck. And it leads to millions of people being harmed in this country. But yet they want to sit up there on their high horse, feeling fucking good about themselves, saying that everyone else is bad and evil, right? For doing the thing that is going to lead to less people being harmed. To a degree of millions of people. Push the galaxy. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Thank you for the galaxy. Thank you. Let's go to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Ellie, thank you so much. Really appreciate the galaxy. Thank you. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
31.
Do you support Trump?
Out of the options, yes.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. For sure. I have a few people to thank. Liz, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Mary with the $10. I really appreciate it. Lion of God, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Lovey, thank you for the $1. I really appreciate it as well. Thank you. Thank you. Jenny, thank you for the $6.66. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Haley with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Mark, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Isabella, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Laura with the $15. I really appreciate it. Allison with the $5. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Liz with the $20. Thank you so much, Liz. I really appreciate it. Briley, thank you for the $1. Chloe with the $5. Amanda with the 10. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Madison, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $1. Caitlin, thank you for the 2. I really appreciate it. Anna, thank you for the 10. Thank you so much. Gina Elise, thank you for the $1 as well. Thank you. Let me check on YouTube real quick as well. Give me 1 second. I need to catch up on YouTube as well. Give me 1 second, then we're going to go to the next conversation. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Ron, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. Felonius, thank you for the 10. Sleeping, thank you for the 10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Ray with the 5. Mill, thank you for the 2. As well, thank you so much. Alrighty. Okay, so why do you support Trump?
Well, in 2016 I didn't. 2020 I was on the fence. In 2024 it was pretty clear, kind of after how the 2020 time went and the open borders and a lot of the other really bad things, in my opinion. So I really wasn't a Trump supporter at all until basically I just looked at 2020 hindsight of how the 8 years went.
Okay, so like, could you name like a Democratic policy that you disagree with?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the open border policy. I think is, horrible for child sex trafficking. I don't like the kind of the liberalness of laws. I do think people should go to jail as they are assigned. I don't think we should be letting people out. I don't think that we should be housing people in New York City, immigrants that aren't legal citizens. I think we should deport people that they did do that. I think they should deport people that don't do it the legal way, just like I think any other country should do that. I think if I went to Mexico, they should deport me if I don't go the legal process. So a lot of those things have added up to make me go, seems like a better solution.
So Elon didn't go through the legal process into the United States. He violated immigration law. Should he be deported because he did originally violate immigration law?
Yeah.
Okay. Deport Elon, I guess. Secondly, Democrats don't support open borders. We still want restrictions on the border. We want people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes to be not allowed into our country or deported. And like if someone was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, we wouldn't let them enter the country nor enter the Oval Office. And then you said that you shouldn't be letting people out. So how do you feel about Donald Trump pardoning violent rioters who beat police officers? And he called them patriots as well.
I'm not familiar with it, but are you talking about October 7th? Is that what it was?
No, I'm talking about January 6th.
Oh, January 6th. Okay. Yeah, not great.
Okay, yeah, he pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers. Like, for example, DJ Rodriguez drove a stun gun into the neck of a police officer, which led to that police officer having a heart attack. Right? So, I mean, do you think that that person should have been pardoned? They were released onto the streets with absolutely no charges because Donald Trump pardoned them.
Well, I think what you're asking is very detailed questions. If I'm going to look at the broad scheme of who do I think did better in the 4-year period, I don't know how anybody would say that Biden did better, which now seem like the same option to me or a very similar option with Kamala Harris.
Oh, Biden absolutely
in fact,
did
Kamala
better.
Harris ran in 2020, and nobody actually cared to vote for her because she's simply not impressive.
So I just want to she had 7 to 15% of the primary vote, right? And she dropped
That's
out to
terrible,
be the vice
isn't it?
president. When Donald Trump ran in 2000, how much support of how much percent of the vote did he get in 2000 when he first ran?
In 2000?
Yeah, Trump ran in 2000. What percent of the vote did he get then when he first ran?
That's a great question. I don't know that it's relevant to.
Oh wait,
the
why is that
comparison
not
between-
relevant? But the first time Kamala Harris ran for vice presidency, that does matter. Explain to me why one does matter, but the other one doesn't. Because she got a higher percentage of the vote, right, in terms of the primary, than Donald Trump even got fucking close to in 2000.
Sure, but I was saying that I think she would follow suit from what Biden was doing. So that was the problem, not that she didn't get votes.
So but your claim was that no one wanted to support her. That's actually verbatim what you said. Okay.
It seemed like she wasn't supported over Biden, so if she's going to apply the same policies,
just because she didn't have a higher percentage of the vote comparative to Biden doesn't mean that she was like not wanted. That's ridiculous.
It is what it means in a general sense.
Would you say that about
people
Bernie? Was Bernie not wanted at all by the Democratic Party?
He was wanted a heck of a lot more than Kamala. Yeah.
Okay, Kamala, and you compare that based upon the percentage of vote they got. So Kamala Harris was more wanted than Donald Trump when he first ran, right?
In 2000?
Yeah. When she first ran in 2020, right? She was more wanted than Donald Trump when he first ran in 2000.
You're focused on the point that wasn't really the point. The point was she was implementing the same policies that Biden was going to implement, which I don't think went
Name
very
one of the
well.
policies that you disagree with. Name one Biden policy.
I named
that's
all
bad.
of them right when we started.
Name one. Be specific.
Very leniency on open borders. Again, you can
name
say
the specific
that
policy that they passed that you disagree with.
Okay, I guess I'm just looking at the worldview as actually what happened, and what happened was there was complete leniency of the border, and we all know that. It's a fact.
What
we know the
policy
millions
did they
that
pass
crossed the
called the
border.
Open Border? What was the Open Border Act? When did they pass that?
You're going to know all this more than me because you do this 10 hours a day. I just lived life and saw the actual facts and the numbers that stated how many people went through the borders, which should bother you if child sex trafficking bothers you. Are we going to talk about that?
It does. And that's why Donald Trump literally calling the Epstein files a hoax should be concerning to you.
Yeah, but you're pivoting.
I'm not pivoting. You just said that in a
You
pivot.
are pivoting.
And I literally I said that in response to the pivot you brought up. That was your pivot, genius.
I know. Then you're pivoting to files that we don't have proof of anything.
You pivoted, and I brought up the same topic you pivoted to. And now I'm the one pivoting under your view? Wow.
Yes, because this is obviously a much, much broader thing that happens to... Not really. It's actually very honest to say this is a bigger thing than some island where people's actual kids in America are getting shipped to other countries and they're getting raped. I think we should care about that more.
I do care about that.
Okay.
And I don't think you care about
so
that
that's a
because you
big
voted
thing.
for a rapist yourself. You don't give a shit about that. You voted for a rapist. You voted for a guy held civilly liable of sexual abuse. And had 26 different people that have come out accusing him of sexual misconduct, where he's literally acknowledged himself and admitted and boasted about literally sexually exploiting women and girls. Right?
You're not going to get a debate that I think is the God's gift of character. I think what you will get a debate on is who did a better job from 2016 to 2020.
Well, that wasn't even the years that they were in office, by the way. Secondly, if you want to reference this, yes, we are going to reference character because character can be so bad insofar as that you shouldn't support him. But not only is Donald Trump worse on character, but he's worse on policy. You couldn't even mention a single policy you disagreed with in specific in terms of Democrats. All you could say was open border, buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. There's no idea of an open border that you could even define that would properly fit the way that Democrats address the immigration. Okay, you can't even give me a single definition of open border that it would actually apply.
I think I'm confused by what you're asking me. You're asking me what are the problems or what are the policies or problems that I would have with the Democratic view, and I'm giving them to you. I don't know what else you're looking for. You asked, your whole thing is why do you support Trump? And I'm giving you reasons why I would support Trump. Is that the premise of the conversation, or is it not?
Okay, yeah, but you're not really giving me reasons why you support Trump, and you're not really even responding to my argument.
I've given you 4 or 5. I can give you like 20 more if you would like, but I don't know.
Define open borders? What is that?
The leniency. It's not necessarily the term open is just a common term. The leniency to let people in. Are you going to debate that we let millions of people go through?
So it's based on the level of border crossings, correct?
The amount of people?
The level of border crossings, correct?
The amount of people that get by, yes, that's obviously what I mean by leniency.
Okay, so did you know at the end of the first term for Trump, actually there was a higher level of daily crossings than the end of Biden's administration? So are you saying that Biden inherited an open border and then gave a more secure border over to Trump?
Do you think it became more secure solely towards the end because people knew Trump might get elected and they didn't want to lose their family?
No, because
that's a possibility.
No, because Biden passed an executive order, which he thought was going to be temporary because he wanted to have long-term legislation passed through Congress to get it through, so that it can't be overturned by the Supreme Court.
Okay, but what happened the previous 3 years and 6 months? How many people did we let in? And again, it's not that I have
economic insecurity that existed under the pandemic because of the fact that people had a global inflation to deal with, right, led to more people coming to our country. That would have happened regardless of the administration because economic insecurity was the cause.
Man. Come on.
It is true.
Come on. Really? Because we're still dealing with an economic crisis as we speak, or most of the world is. And guess what? People aren't coming in.
That's just not true. We do not have global inflation like we did. That's not true.
Not to the extent, but we still do have it. Let's look at the rest of the world. We're still dealing with it. If you look at the rest of the world, we're not exactly killing it. Most countries are not having great GDP, correct? Can you look that up?
I can pull that up in a second, but if you want to look at hold up, I need to see overall. Okay, you can keep making your point.
Yeah, I just, again, I think that it's, if I'm just being, you seem like a cool guy. I think it's a total cop-out to say it has anything to do with COVID. I think if anything, you would be stricter because you don't know their vaccine policies and those things coming from different countries. So I would think you would secure the border even more. They secured restaurants.
You guys care about vaccine policies? Okay, one, you care about vaccine policies now. Two, yeah, we could totally have vaccine.
Why do you think I don't care about vaccine policies?
Because
are you assuming I don't because I vote? Okay.
Republicans? Yeah.
That's quite the assumption you're making there.
Yeah, it is quite the assumption. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I have no problem with vaccines.
Do you want to mandate vaccines?
No, of course I don't.
But you want to mandate them for like undocumented immigrants and documented immigrants coming to our country?
No. Who said that I did?
Okay. So then you don't want to mandate them. So then what's your point here about vaccine checks?
I didn't say vaccine checks. I said it's interesting that during a pandemic that we wouldn't have considered borders to even be. I mean, we couldn't get into restaurants without making sure everything was secure. So I don't. It seems like that would have been a time that you had made
policy, right?
Sorry, one more time.
Which was bipartisan, right?
What do you mean?
There were shutdowns in Republican and Democratic-run states.
Yes, I believe so. I mean, I only lived in 2 different states during the pandemic, but it just seems obvious. If you have a worldwide pandemic that is new to everybody, it seems like the logical thing would be you wouldn't have open borders too. But for some reason, that was fine. I was thrown out of restaurants, or not me specifically, because I would wear a mask, with people thrown out of restaurants for not wearing a mask.
Tell me, what years was the border open? Between what years?
I would assume, again, open's not the right word. We were just lenient. It's not that they were open. We didn't.
Okay, so
we clearly didn't care.
The wrong word. At what years was it quote unquote lenient to a degree that you disagree with it?
I would assume 22 and part of 23, but I don't have it in front of me. I know that the numbers skyrocketed probably in the middle of his term.
So just 22 and 23, you were okay in 24?
Again, I think people were preparing, and if I'm just thinking logically, if I had a family, which I do, and I was crossing a border and I thought there's a chance that this person might kick me out, then I would probably be cautious of wanting to cross the border. I think that seems logical. I don't think anybody was worried about Biden. And
there was deportations that existed under Biden.
Sense.
Like Trump supporters love to make that point. Trump supporters love to make the point that there were a lot of deportations that existed under Biden when referencing the amount of deportations that existed under Trump in comparison to Democrats. But they don't want to address the level of deportations that existed under Biden when talking about whether or not they think that there's a quote unquote lenient or open border. The idea that there was no deportations under Biden is ridiculous. This same level of immigration would have happened if Trump were in office. Why? Because it was related to economic insecurity due to global inflation. 22 and 23, those were the highest levels of inflation. Okay? So you have to acknowledge that is related to global economic insecurity, and that's why Kamala Harris raised private funds in Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of people coming here because of economic insecurity. Because people realized that economic insecurity, many times caused by the United States, by the way, around the world, leads to people immigrating to the United States.
Did that happen in 2007, 2008?
It happened across the board. It's been happening. People immigrate to the United States.
I'm just curious.
Economic insecurity caused by the United States. In the context of inflation, it wasn't caused by the United States, but we are acknowledging the reality that that people will come to the context of the United States. Why? Because of economic insecurity. And that's a fact that we've known for a while.
Okay. What is that? I'm just out of curiosity. It says, why do you support Trump? That's the question. That's the overall question, right?
Yeah. So you want to hold criminals accountable. They should go to jail, right?
Depending on what they do, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Isn't that how all society should be structured?
So if someone hasn't committed a violent crime or a bad crime, should they be deported?
If somebody hasn't committed a violent crime or a bad crime, they should be deported if they haven't gone through the process. Do you not agree with that statement?
So if they violated the law should be enforced. Is that your view?
My view is what I just said. Do you not think they should be deported if they didn't go through the proper process? I just answered it. I think if they don't go through the proper process, if I go up to Canada and I don't have the rights to be there, I think I should get deported. I think that should be normal practice.
You want immigrants to go through the legal process. So do you want Trump to go through the legal process to deport them? Because he's violating due process rights to a greater extent.
No, I don't think you should go through the legal process to deport them because, again,
So by the way, undocumented.
Do you think that they should? Do you think that we
listen? Your view is crazy. Your view is undocumented immigrants need to go through the legal process, and they're being punished because they didn't go through the legal process. But you don't think that Donald Trump should go through the legal process in deporting them? Isn't that hypocritical?
I don't think it's hypocritical at all. I don't know what's hypocritical about us saying, hey, you're going through the legal process. What do you mean you don't know what's hypocritical
about saying they should go through the legal process and then yourself going through an illegal process of deporting them? That's dishonest. You said they should go through the legal process, but apparently you don't have to go through said legal process. You believe in the rule of law wait, you believe in the law for undocumented immigrants, but you do not believe in the law for Donald Trump. You believe he's above the law. You don't believe in the rule of law. You believe that he can engage in actions in which blatantly and explicitly violate people's constitutionally protected rights because you want to increase the speed of undocumented immigrants being deported from our country. Those that have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes, those that are helping out their communities, those that specifically didn't do anything to harm you as an American, who should be considered Americans themselves, right? And you're advocating for a violent process of deporting them without due process that makes this country a worse place economically speaking. It makes our culture worse, right? It makes our society worse. It makes us less humane for a process. It makes our country less safe because, again, ICE and deportation processes, right, and law enforcement in terms of the border are focused on deporting those that have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes, are not a threat to our safety and security as a community, to the degree of 70%. 70% of people detained by ICE have absolutely no prior criminal record. Okay, so they're spending over 70% of their time deporting people and detaining people who have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes, rather than focusing on those that have committed violent crimes and bad crimes, the murderers, the rapists, right, and the people that are actually a threat to the safety and security of everyday, average American citizens. You don't give a shit about safety and security. You don't give a shit about enforcing the law. You don't give a shit about any of those things. They're just baseless talking points used by the right to send out a propagandistic message so that they can spread their hate, particularly through the law.
Do you think that Trump's the only person that's deported people? Do you know any facts about Obama and how many people he deported?
I do.
Okay, please run them by me.
I will. So actually, under the context of Obama...
Go ahead. I want to know how many people Obama, which nobody talks about, how many times that he deported people.
We constantly talk about this. All the time it's brought up. I'll tell you the distinction. Under Obama, there was expedited removal didn't exist to the same degree as what it currently exists under Trump. Trump has extended expedited removal to be applicable to individuals that have been within the country for up to 2 years and that are in anywhere within the jurisdiction of the country. Whereas before, under Obama, expedited removal was specific to scenarios in which people have been within the country for less than 2 weeks and they're within 100 miles of the border. So that lack of due process has been extended to a greater portion of people under the Trump administration policy because of his expansion of expedited removal. I do disagree with the Obama administration and the Biden administration with the level of deportation that they engaged in and the lack of due process in some scenarios. I do disagree with that. I actually advocate anyone within the country should who's undocumented, who has not committed a violent crime or bad crime, should be given a pathway to citizenship where they do not have to leave the country while getting that pathway to citizenship. That's what I believe in. So I disagree with both Democratic and Republican administration policy in terms of immigration. But I agree with Democrats more than Republicans because they advocate for a quicker legal immigration process. They want a priority to deport those that have committed violent crimes or bad crimes, and they use a greater amount of due process. So respond to that, buddy.
No problem there. Again, you can say you would prefer one type of deportation over the other. My biggest thing is that I have kids, I've got a family, I've got people I care about. I don't think there has to, I'm not super worried about it, to be honest with you. If people are in a country, not our country, in a country illegally, I think it's perfectly normal for that country to go, you haven't gone through the legal due process. You are not invited here. I don't understand the issue with that. I don't understand why you think that's a bigger concern, just out of curiosity.
Wait, you're saying undocumented immigrants need to go through due process in your view, but apparently Trump doesn't have to.
I let you finish. That's a bigger issue than the overall issue, which again, to me, would be child sex trafficking. To me, is a little worse than people going back to the country that they may have came from because of the fact that they didn't go through a legal process, which we would just both agree that we don't love either policy. But the policy to me would be, I'm most concerned with the U.S. citizens over non-U.S. citizens. Is that a normal thing to think?
What you think isn't normal because it's incredibly hypocritical. Why is it hypocritical?
It's not. There's nothing hypocritical. I asked you a simple question.
You just complained about me cutting you off. Don't cut me off. If you care about
I just asked you a question, though, and you're not answering it. So that's the one question. Would you rather the border policy? No. Would you rather the border policy be a little bit more lenient or whatever you would prefer? Maybe that's not the correct term. Or would you rather kids continue being sex trafficked all throughout the southern part of throughout Mexico and all throughout the whole world, which you know, if you've done any research on that, which would you prefer if you had a family? Would you rather go, hey, let me help out the people that aren't legal citizens here, or let me help my children not to get raped? What's your best option there?
I would like to reduce child sex trafficking, but the idea that you
how
have
do you
in your
do
mind,
that? How do you reduce
I'll tell you. Let me respond.
Please do.
Let me tell you.
It's called stricter borders.
You do that by not voting for Donald Trump, who was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, who was best friends with Epstein.
You're switching it to the Epstein files.
No, let me fully explain.
You're switching.
You are cutting me off instead of letting me explain. You know that I'm beating you in this conversation. You know that you have no response. You have to cut me off because you know that what I'm saying is accurate.
You haven't beaten me in one topic yet. But go ahead.
I just did, and that's why you're scared. And you keep cutting me off.
Epstein files. Okay. Go ahead. You're talking about Epstein files. That has nothing to do with my question. I asked you a simple question. No, it doesn't.
Let me explain. Don't cut me off.
Would you rather have closed borders and your kids not be taken from you, not you specifically, but in a broad scheme of things? Or would you rather have a more lenient border, be nicer, and have your kids taken, which does happen? Maybe it hasn't happened to you. It has happened to many people. So who do you care more about? Do you care about the kids that are getting sexually abused? Or do you care about being nice to the people that aren't legal citizens here? That's your question. I don't care about any other files. That's not what we're talking about. What's your answer? Which would you prefer? Because that's the reality, right?
What you've just given me is a false dichotomy. This is not present within reality.
Not at all. But
these are not the only two options. Okay, this isn't even an accurate representation of the Democratic perspective. So it's a straw man of the Democratic perspective, but it's also a false dichotomy because these aren't the only two things that we could particularly do to address the conditions of child sex trafficking at the context of the border. How should we address child sex trafficking at the border? Good question. How do we do this? Well, we should do this specifically by allowing law enforcement to focus on those that have committed those particular types of crimes, rather than focusing on deporting people who have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes. When ICE is spending 70% of their time detaining people who have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes, that restricts their ability to be able to hold people accountable who have been sex trafficking children. So I think that law enforcement should be focused on deporting those that have done those particular types of actions, and particularly should be focused on holding those accountable that have committed those particular types of actions, rather than deporting people's family members and grandparents, right, and siblings that have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes, that are working in their communities, that literally just want to come here for a better life. That is how we address it. So this false dichotomy that you're creating in your head specifically of either it is, like I said, an undocumented immigrant is going to assault someone specifically in the country, or we're going to have Donald Trump's policies where you're literally violating constitutionally protected rights across the board, is ridiculous. It's an absurd false dichotomy that you're created in your head specifically that has no relevance to actually the policies that are being supported by either side. You have to acknowledge this, right? What would I advocate for? I'd advocate against, right, someone like Donald Trump, someone being held civilly liable of sexual abusing a woman, right, being into a position of power, because that's going to create a culture where sexual abuse is more likely to occur, where people care less about child sex trafficking, where again a convicted child sex trafficker like Jeffrey Epstein has said that Donald Trump is the worst person that he's ever known. He's known people that are bad, but none as bad as Donald Trump. And the convicted child sex trafficker knew a bunch of child rapists. And if Donald Trump is worse than all of them, then please explain to me why you support this guy while simultaneously saying that you want to address the level of child sex trafficking that's happening in our country, after Donald Trump claimed that the Epstein files are a hoax, buddy.
I already answered it very clearly. You asked me the question. I said I want a more secure border. You answered it indirectly. You said I want to deport those people that are. What if those crimes were not? What if the people didn't commit those crimes yet, and they're just now here to commit those crimes? You know what I would rather do? Prevent it from ever happening. Doesn't that make more sense than to wait for them to have the crime committed? So again, I assume you don't. Just out of curiosity, Parker, do you have kids?
Yeah, I have 10 children, so I just want to let you know. If you
you probably have 0. Otherwise, you would just agree and you would stop trying to switch the subject.
Let me explain. I'll explain right now. Let me explain to you why your perspective
Please
is
do.
not right here. Wait, when you say that you want a more secure border and you want to prevent crime,
less people get through the border, and you know that. But that's fine.
Let me explain. So if you want a more secure border and you want to prevent crime, please address it from this standpoint. One, the context of what I brought up would prevent crime to a significantly greater extent because law enforcement would be more focused on those that have committed violent crimes and bad crimes rather than those that have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes and are not a threat to our safety and security. Secondly, you wouldn't vote for a convicted criminal if you wanted to prevent crime. Thirdly, if you want to specifically look at the level of preventing crime, again, I don't think that you are preventing crime to a greater extent when you actively advocate for a guy who literally is violating the law, committing a crime to deport people without due process. Okay? That's another committing of a crime that apparently you don't give a flying fuck about when you're specifically addressing about the secure border that you want to keep quote unquote secure. Right? That's obviously absurd. So if you would like to address any of those points, alongside the fact that undocumented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, property crime in the country comparative to natural-born U.S. citizens, and if you wanted to reduce the nominal level of crime that happens, not just by rate, because undocumented immigrants and documented immigrants coming to the country do reduce the rate of crime as a percentage of the population, right? If you want to reference the nominal level of crime, well, then you want to reduce how many kids people are having, because that's going to increase the nominal level of crime. You want to ban tourism, you want to ban legal immigration, because all of those will lead to an increase in the nominal level of crime, because there's more people within the context of our country. Even if it won't increase the rate of crime as a percentage of the population, it would increase the nominal level of crime. So ban tourism, no tourists, no legal immigrants, no having children, because that will lead to more crime in the future. And if you want to prevent it, because you don't want there to be a higher population with more levels of nominal crime, well, then you have to be against all of those things. But again, he's not going to address any of these arguments. He's going to act like I didn't argue any of these things, and he's going to act like I'm advocating for more crime in the country. Watch.
Well, what was the question, Parker? I heard it, just simplified. What are you asking me?
No, if you heard it, respond.
I think we were talking in circles. I would strongly agree with you that he is not the best human in the world. I'd strongly agree with you that if there were better options, I'd vote those options. The main overall question is, why do you support Trump? If it's Trump or Kamala Harris, which I've given you 5 reasons, then nobody cares, man. Then it is okay. She lost, so it doesn't matter. We don't have to learn her name.
Okay, Phil. Hey, Phil. You didn't actually engage with my question. It sounds like you didn't hear it, Phil.
Because it was a long question. So just a quick question. What's the question?
Phil, wait. It's okay, Phil. You can chill. It's okay. If you want to, we're talking about preventing of crime. Again, in order to prevent crime, one, you can't allow crimes to happen on behalf of Donald Trump, who's violating people's due process rights, which is violating the law. Right, in order to be able to deport people, you can't support a convicted criminal in the position of office because you literally voting for him removed him being held accountable because he wasn't sentenced to prison because of the fact that he was elected president by people like you. Alongside the fact that undocumented immigrants are committing multiple times lower rates of violent crime, drug crime, property crime in the country compared to
natural born. Can I pause you
there? Okay, well, I want to make this point. Okay, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just saying by the percentage thing, it kind of makes me laugh because they're saying by percentage they cause less crime, which I'm sure is a fact. I'm sure you do this a lot, so I'm sure you have that study down. Who cares? Is there still crime? Was there still the Russian lady that got stabbed in the neck? Is there still all of this crime that who cares if it's by a lower percent? It's still causing more crime, is it not? Do we care if it's 0.5% or 1%? Is there still more crime? Because, and again, if you think I have anything wrong with foreign people, I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida,
Phil, let me pause you there, Phil. So if you want to talk about this again,
you're making me laugh with the Phil thing. It's not offending me, but go ahead.
Chill, it's okay, Phil. The nominal level of crime increasing is something I've already addressed. I'll address it again. If you disagree with the nominal level of crime increasing because you aren't going to reference crime rate, well, then you disagree with people having more children because that will increase the nominal level of crime because there's more people, which will commit more crime at a likely percentage. Secondly, you're also going to disagree with tourism because tourism tourists commit crimes, and if you ban tourism, you get rid of the crime that tourists commit. You'd also ban legal immigration, because then it would prevent nominal level of crime increasing because there's more people within the context of our population. But all of those would be absurd things to ban, absurd things to limit. So obviously you don't think just an increase in the nominal level of crime because of an increase in the population is going to be a reason to ban said thing that you're referencing or deport people in that context. That would be absurd. Are you going to deport tourists because if you don't do that, there's going to be an increase in the nominal level of crime comparative to if they weren't in the country?
No, that's a fair point. I think you would let tourism still happen. I think that this is certainly more avoidable than tourism, though. I think this is a much bigger problem than people.
Tourism. Ban tourism.
Well, I just said that that's a fair point, but we're not talking about it at the same scale, and you know that. Are tourists bringing in heroin and cocaine and terrible
you can't
drugs?
Say them live. I have to kick you now. Over 90% of people that are bringing those DRUGS across the border are U.S. citizens, not undocumented immigrants. I have to kick you because it's TikTok TOS, and you can't say that on the live because it will limit the push of the stream. I have a few people to thank real quick. Holy shit, everyone. I just want to say thank you. Elizabeth, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. It really means so much to me. It does. Thank you so much. Kirsten, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $6. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Cash, thank you for the $3. Ella Ray, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $2. I really appreciate it. Carolyn, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $100 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I really appreciate it. Some W's for Carolyn in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Rebecca with the $5 for pitching in for the grift. Thank you. Talia, thank you so much for the $3. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Emily, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I do blame people for not I would say it's worse to not vote. Yeah. I would say you should vote. Can Acquire, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Miss Maya, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let me catch up everywhere else as well. Stephanie with the $100 on Cash App. Who's some W's for Stephanie in the comment section right now? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Who's some W's for Stephanie in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. W's for Stephanie. That is so kind of you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate Briley as well. Thank you for the $1. I also have to catch up on YouTube. Let's get the next person up here real quick, and then we'll thank some people on YouTube. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
I'm a Republican.
Do you support Trump?
I'm a Republican.
Okay. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Scott, thank you so much. I really appreciate the level up. Thank you. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
Do I? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What's your birth year?
2000.
And what month?
12. December.
And you said you're how old?
18.
You would be 19, wouldn't you? Or actually, you'd be like 25, wouldn't you? What the fuck? You said 2000? I thought you said 2005 for a second. 2000, you'd be 24 years old, turning 25. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria list on the TikTok screen. Let's go to the next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay, we are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria list on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria list on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Alrighty, everyone. We're trying to get someone up here. Do give it a second, everyone. Dude, give it a second. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. What the hell is going on? It's like, yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay. What the fuck? The box is acting so weird right now. Only send a guest request again if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alright, let's go to the next individual. Emily, thank you for the 68 cents. I mean, I haven't heard one. Genuinely, but is it logically possible? Maybe. And in general, like, I would just say you should, but I wouldn't be, like, super hard on people if they didn't. Yeah, what's up? How old are you? They're just like the person was
20.
being, like, acting like they were morally superior because of their particular decision about. Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Do you support Trump?
Correct.
What's your birth year?
2005.
What month?
July.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay. Let me say thank you to a few people, and then we can move on with our conversation. A few people here on YouTube real quick. Give me 1 second. Grace, thank you so much for the level ship. Thank you. Phelan, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $20. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for Phelan in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Ron with the $20 as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Chad, I'm gonna say safe rather than sorry. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. By the way, I do want to stay safe rather than sorry. I sometimes just wait for the chat just to make sure it's not just me. But yeah, I have a few people more to thank. I just want to be able to get someone up here before I do. Give me 1 second, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? So the next individual, again, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Alrighty. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, what's up? I'm 21.
And what's your birth year?
2004.
And do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
And what month were you born?
September.
Okay. Alrighty. And you said if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I would vote for Trump.
Okay, for sure. I have a few people to thank real quick. And then we can move on to our conversation. Davo, thank you so much for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Ravercat. Thank you for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Excuse the W's for Ravercat in the comment section as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Wolf, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I definitely will have to. I literally haven't seen them quite yet because, one, it doesn't show me all the membership subscriptions. But Ron, thank you for all the membership subscriptions. Thank you so much. That's actually so fucking kind of you. It's actually crazy. Yeah, you've sent 10 there. It doesn't show me on the super chat thing, so I have to actually click over onto another thing to see it. So I'm still thanking people real quick, but I've seen already so many, which is fucking crazy. Thank you so much for all of them, Ron. That's actually so kind of you. Mill, thank you for the $200 on YouTube Super Chat as well. Thank you so much, Mill. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. They said unwanted pregnancy is far more dangerous. I almost died from pregnancy. Yeah, it's actually crazy that people like literally justify forcing people to go through pregnancies. I don't like typically like comparisons between those two in terms of how bad, but I definitely think that, you know, it's definitely like, you know, something to address in terms of how horrible and horrific it is to force people to go through pregnancy, of course. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Heather, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Hamster, thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you so much, Hamster. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alan, thank you so much for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Alan. Ron Allen, I really appreciate it. Hamster, again with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think I'm fully caught up there on YouTube Super Chat real quick. I have a few more people to catch up to. Emily, thank you for the 68 cents. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that. And I wouldn't be hard on people, but obviously I would say I would like agree that people should have Avery, thank you for the $2. Stacy, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Can we get some W's for Stacy in the comment section as well? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They said my city just declared a state of emergency due to the amount of residents disappearing to ICE raids. Our community is living in fear. Absolutely, literally. I'm scared every day that my boyfriend, who's a naturalized citizen, will suddenly be gone. Watching your streams gives me hopes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Stacy. Can we get some W's for Stacy in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. That's absolutely insane. Gina as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So, why do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I'm just gonna go back to my license. That's a really big factor whenever I decide a candidate.
What was the reason you cut out, like, because of lag?
Pro-life.
Okay, you're pro-life. Okay, why
Can you
are
hear
you
me? Hello?
pro-life?
Because I believe that every living human organism has the right to live.
Okay, do you think it's murder to pull the plug on an individual in your family that's brain dead?
It's circumstantial. I wouldn't pull the plug personally, but I wouldn't say murder. I think
They're lagging a lot. I'm gonna go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria list on the TikTok screen. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link to in the bio as well as the description of the YouTube. So as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Let's go on to the next individual real quick. Also, everyone, I'd really appreciate if you like the stream, hit that thumbs up on YouTube and tap that screen on TikTok. Let's try to get to we're about to 1 million likes here on TikTok and on YouTube. Let me see how many likes we're at as well. And also, I need to check the memberships. I need to do that as well. We're at like 1,600 likes here on YouTube. Everyone, make sure to tap that screen, as well as. Let me actually see. Ron, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, though. Thank you for all the memberships. I know you've sent like a bunch of them. It doesn't actually show me there. I can try looking through another mechanism real quick. But that is, thank you literally so much. I really appreciate it. That's actually fucking insane. Let's go on the next individual here real quick. Angela, thank you so much for the Galaxy. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to the next individual here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates. Alright, let me click on memberships. There we are. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
24.
Do you support Trump?
Yep.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
I like his policies.
What policies?
I like that we're sending illegal immigrants back.
Okay, undocumented immigrants. Why?
Well, we have found 40,000 missing children ever since we have started sending them back. And just like you go in any other country, it's illegal, so.
Okay, what was the rate of finding missing children under the Biden-Harris administration?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Biden's stupid.
Okay, so if you don't know, then you can't make a comparison to say that it's better under Trump.
No one said I was making a comparison.
Well, you were, because you were saying that since Trump got in office, this happened because of Trump. That's the argument you were making. So then you'd have to argue that Trump caused this to happen. If you can't, right, then what's your point here? And what's your birth year, by the way?
My point is that we found 40,000 missing children from sending illegal immigrants
hold up. What's
back.
your birth year, by the way?
2000.
What month?
December.
And how old are you?
24.
When did you graduate high school?
A long time ago.
What year?
Shit, I'm high as fuck right now, so couldn't tell you.
Bullshit. I could be elevated off my ass and still tell you. I could still tell you. I could go downstairs and go drink a 100 mg drink, okay? And I still would be able to answer that question, okay? 40 minutes later, okay? And that is absurd. I could drink a whole thing, 100 mg, and I'd still be able to answer that question. Diabolical. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
May 2007.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I would support Donald Trump for his pro-life policies. I would vote for him. My bad. But that's why I support him.
I'm sorry. I think that maybe you're wrong. Or not wrong. Young. Bro, not people in the comment section saying 100 mg is not shit. What are you talking about? You know that's actually a high amount. Like, that is absurd to say that's not a high amount. It is. Now, could I do more than that? Yeah. But it is a high amount. You cannot tell me you would not be blasted off 100. Come on. Come on. Come on. No way. It's light? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Maybe it's because I don't do that very often, the drinks or anything. So 10 mg is my max. That's for my girlfriend too. Someone said I have 0 milligrams of masculinity. Yeah, it's because you can't have milligrams of masculinity. That's literally not a thing, okay? What are you talking about, dude? Accept my guest request, okay? He did. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Hello? You're in the live, man.
Yo.
Yeah. Yo. You wanna expand on that? What do you mean by 0 milligrams of masculinity? How do you have a milligram of masculinity? Can you explain that one?
Yeah, I thought it was funny that you said 100 milligrams was a lot.
Come on, what are you talking about? What do you mean? You think that's not a lot?
I don't. No.
What's a lot to you?
I don't know. One edible is like $4.50.
What? The average one is not $4.50. Taylor, I approach the galaxy. When the plug says it's $4.50, the likelihood of it being $4.50 is probably pretty low, right? Like, if you're just getting off the street or something, like the ones that say that like they're $4.50 or something like that, unless you're going to like a legal dispensary, you know what I mean? Like plugs will claim it like it is $4.50, and it is not $4.50. Okay. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yeah. The legal dispensaries, like the max I've seen is like 100. Like that's literally the max that I've seen. And that's not even most of the stuff. Like that's like the highest stuff that they have in store. Like 1,000 mg brownies is diabolical. That's so diabolical. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
23.
And what's your birth year?
02.
What month?
May.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
Oh, neither.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Madison, thank you so much for the $1. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Logan with the 10 as well. Thank you so much. Emily, I have not. Jennifer, thank you for the $10. I'll have to make sure to look. Devin, thank you so much for the 2. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Devin. Absolutely. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates. Oh, yep, it did it. I should have done that. Fuck! I should have done that, dude. I literally added up just to do that. Just to do that. I was literally just gonna do that. I should have known that I was gonna get one right away. Hopefully it goes away. Hopefully it's still not in place. Is there still a warning on the live chat? Oh no. Did I just no. Parker, what are you doing, bro? Parker, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Ah, dude. Man. Come on, man. Wait, what? Consuming substances featured in this live could harm your health? What are you talking about? That must have been for something else. That's what we were talking about, chat. Dude. Parker, what are you doing, man? That's an L. Parker, man. L. Parker. Parker, what are you doing, man? Why are you talking about that? But stop being so specific, man. Ah, shit, dude. Oh, no, dude. Is that going to limit the push of the stream? Should I hit a restart on TikTok? Oh my gosh, no way. Oh my gosh. But Davo, by the way, thank you for the $20. I saw your comment. Yeah, should I hit a quick restart? It's still there, yeah. We'll hit a quick restart here on TikTok, everyone. For the 5.4 thousand people here on TikTok, I'd recommend to come right back, everyone. Come right back. If you're on, I'd recommend also go to YouTube. I'd really appreciate that. But if you come back and we can get everyone back in the stream, it'll help push up the live like a lot more. So I'd really appreciate it. Just come right back. Come right back and we're going to continue on the stream, okay? We'll be right back literally in 15 seconds, everyone. Right back in 15 seconds, everyone. All 5.4 thousand people come back. We'll have a massive push out, okay? I promise you. All right, I'll see y'all. Everyone on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Thank you. I'll make sure to get that set up again. It should be working. Beatrice, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. Emily, thank you so much for the 68 cents. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to look into it. Skitty, thank you so much. Really appreciate the Galaxy. Thank you. Davo, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. They should shout out, please. Yes, absolutely. I saw you earlier. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Cool to see you from California as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty. Give it a second, everyone, for him to find his information.
It was 2 million.
What'd you say?
It was 2 million.
Under Trump?
Yes.
So if there was 7 million under Biden and 10 million under Trump, then you said there was more under Trump?
No. So I saw the border crisis because, unfortunately enough, I serve in a uniform, and I actually been out to the border, and what I saw out there was actually really ridiculous. There was legitimate holes in fences that we had to patch up whenever Trump first took office. We had orders last minute there to take control of the border situation, and people were just still walking through like nothing was happening. Like it was ridiculous. Like Border Patrol wasn't even doing their job. It was that sad being there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
You said Border Patrol was not doing their job under the Biden-Harris administration?
Correct.
So the employees just stopped working?
As in not caring because they had orders.
That's just not true. Okay. Now, again, they deported people
That is true. They don't report that in the news, though.
Yes, they did. Do you think there were 0 deportations under Biden?
Not necessarily.
So there were
and going back to what you just said, stuff like that, they don't put it on the news or they don't tell anybody. It's classified for a reason. It's not classified no more.
So they weren't enforcing the border, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So
as far as what we got from my commanding officer.
So that means that people in Border Patrol were doing nothing.
You also can see videos online too about people just walking.
Can you answer the question? Are you saying Border Patrol was doing nothing under the Biden
administration? Absolutely nothing.
So obviously,
I'm being serious with you, bro.
No, wait,
like,
do you want to bet?
I was there.
Do you want to bet?
I do want to bet.
How much? You said Border Patrol was doing absolutely nothing under the Biden-Harris administration. I disagree with you on that point. How much do you want to bet?
I'll bet the debate right now. If you prove me wrong, you win. I ain't betting money online. This ain't gambling.
You know you're wrong, buddy.
No, I'm not. I got bills to pay, bro.
Okay, fair, but understand that you're wrong, right? You bet the debate? Okay, well then you've lost.
All right, show me a source
that says that Border Patrol was enforcing things. All I have to do is show you a source that there were deportations under Biden, right?
Obviously, if somebody gets pulled over, oh, you don't have a visa nor paperwork that you live here. Boom. And guess what they do?
Wait, you said
2 weeks later,
you said
walk
you
right back
CNN,
over again,
right?
Yep.
Okay, well, here's a title from CNN saying Biden carried out the highest level of deportation since 2014, a new report says.
That's a honky donkey shit. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's a hot donkey
Wait, you just
shit.
said that you accepted CNN, dude.
Where was that article at? Because I promise you, I looked up to the actual statistics and I looked it up on Safari.
I can also give you a BBC. U.S. deportations under Biden surpassed Trump's 2019 record. NPR, why deportations hit a 10-year high in 2024. So Border Patrol was doing nothing, yet they were deporting more people than Trump under his first term?
That's honestly hard to believe.
I understand because you believe in feelings rather than facts.
No.
Okay, well, if you believe facts over feelings, then you believe what I just said.
No, that's not entirely it. Do you understand how many news, just for case, how...
No, it's all fake news. It's all fake news. Whenever I see something that I disagree with, I just say, fake news, fake news. I don't accept it, fake news. I don't actually accept it.
Do you actually believe in fake news, legitimately?
What's up?
Do you believe in fake news?
Do I believe in fake news? What is fake news?
Fake news as in tampering with stuff? and not actually like postponing the truth.
Yeah, Donald Trump does it all the time.
He does it all the time, eh?
Yeah.
So, if anybody in this chat or like anybody that you knew that served in uniform, I know quite a bit of the game. I've actually been to the Pentagon and back a couple of times.
You want to cook?
And I have seen some things. I actually do. I actually had to work really hard to get to that point. But anyways, fake news is out there, and I'm a strong believer in them. Whenever election came around, when our voting officers was giving us out our little votes, it persuaded my decision that what's going to be better for the kids and what's going to be better for the future of the next 4 years, because it's either going to be Kamala Harris is going to be my department chief, or it was going to be Donald Trump. And I thought, I strongly hated the pullout of Afghanistan. I knew the girl that was killed there, Sergeant G.
Trump set
I
that
knew
up.
who she was. He didn't. So you're telling me he set it up,
He
and then
he set up the agreement with the Taliban for the United States to pull out.
He wasn't in office though.
Okay, so then why did he give it over to Biden to do that? 1, 2. Why did he never specifically outline a plan for them to leave?
Maybe
So it had
because
to be
Trump
set up by
wasn't
Biden?
done with that plan yet.
What? They signed an
That
agreement.
plan was
with
so
the
rushed.
Wait, they signed.
That was honest.
Wait, you said it was rushed. Do you know that Biden signed an agreement to extend it to give them more time to leave? So if it was
Then
rushed,
why did it never got
that means
approved?
it was rushed to a lesser extent because of Biden.
All right, so you're telling me that ex-president Biden
Signed an agreement to extend how long we had in Afghanistan before we pulled out to give us more time to pull out. Yes. Trump's original agreement was to pull out at an earlier date. So we would have been rushed to a greater extent if Biden did not do so. That's a fact.
actually, in his second term, if he would have won that term, which he thought he was going to win, but
He lost,
unfortunately
right?
didn't. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he
did
thinks that he
lose.
won still to this day.
What do you think that?
I think that's ridiculous. He thinks he won. That's absurd.
So, all right, anyways, back to the topic on that. Anyways, so the border crisis, we went over that.
The border
pullout with
crisis?
Afghanistan. Crisis.
Crisis.
Sorry, my phone speaker is not the best. I dropped it in
No,
water. and
I
it's been
think that
trashed.
was probably me, just mishearing you. They sound similar.
Okay. So going back to the Afghanistan pullout, would you say that was embarrassing?
I would say that like Trump's pullout setup would indicate that there probably wouldn't have been much of a difference in what happened. Right? Like,
What makes you think-
if anything, we had a greater ability to pull out when Biden decided to do so because we had more time. But yeah, I do think it's horrible what happened. I do think that, obviously we don't want service members to die. That's obviously atrocious and horrible. And I do think that, I don't think that like Trump would have stopped that from happening. And I think the idea that Trump would have stopped that is a bit absurd.
It is, and it was honestly very sad. There could have been a lot better ways to pull out of there. I personally never been there because of my time of my service there. We were just starting the pullout, and I wasn't there, but I actually knew the sergeant who went there. She was the one who checked me in, and God bless her soul, Tilvala. I love you, Sergeant. I hope you're doing good out there. But anyways, yeah, she was kind of the one who checked me in and got me settled in with my unit. So, that it was pretty bad. I feel like,
Wait, did you take an oath to defend the Constitution?
I did.
You did? So, would you ever support a candidate that called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution?
Are you talking about the video that the senators tried posting about disobeying direct orders?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, would you ever support a candidate for president that called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution?
Define that. Like, what topic was that on?
No, I'm not saying anything in specific. Could you just say, would you ever support a candidate that called for that? The termination of every single rule, regulation, article, even those found in the Constitution?
In the UCMJ 2 TAC 416 Alpha states that we can disobey a direct order if it was unlawful, then yes.
Wait, I mean that's not what I'm talking about. I'm asking, would you support a candidate that called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution?
No, I would not.
Okay, so did you know that Donald Trump did call for that on Truth Social? He called for explicitly, this is verbatim what he said, the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. That's exactly what he said, verbatim.
All right, what was it about, though? That's what I'm curious
He thought
about.
the 2020 election was stolen.
Okay, so about that, some Tweety birds that I know are pretty high up there. There was legitimate, like, people who were dead for like a year or two was found in that vote. I don't know. I'm being honest.
I don't see any evidence of that. Two, right? Would you like to provide any evidence that that was enough to overturn the results of the election? Because say that there were 2 dead people that voted, okay? That doesn't mean that that would have changed the results of the election, right?
Oh no, it was multiple.
Multiple. So again, multiple people don't change the results of election. 10,000 people, 20,000 people, 30,000 people could, right? But you can't just say a few people who were dead voted, and that means that, Trump would have won because, if these dead people didn't vote. One, you don't know the affiliation of the dead people that voted.
So
Two,
this whole topic is about January 6th,
Three,
correct?
you have to see that it's enough specifically to change the change the election results.
Okay, so are we talking about January 6th?
We can. We weren't originally, but we can.
No, I thought this whole conversation about was the election and then what happened on January 6th. I thought that was what it was leading up to.
No. The claim for termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, happened in 2022. But it was about the election in 2020 because he still thought it was rigged.
Yeah. Honestly, I never really paid no much mind to that. I mean, there's many things in life that can get, screwed up, misinformation, it's in the books too.
No, but he said this on Truth Social. You can look at his public Truth Social account and you can see that he said that. And you said you wouldn't support him if he called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, because that would literally violate your oath to the Constitution. But yet you do still support Donald Trump, even though he did call for that. Let alone the fact that he violates multiple constitutionally protected rights and called for the execution of Democrats that said don't follow unlawful orders, which is what you just said you should do.
Yeah, but another thing that it doesn't really, ring a bell, if that was the case, then why is he president right now? Like, why didn't, the Senate or anything like that, come together and be like, nah, this guy is, crazy because he has the most powerful military in the world.
Because his stranglehold over the Republican Party, ideologically speaking. Okay? That's why.
Honestly, I don't even feel like most Republicans would even want to even have that because that's
what they
can
did.
end
They
a
did.
civilization.
Most Republicans support Trump still.
All right. You put up a good argument with that. I've seen, facts in person and, talked with some people, but you put up a good argument with that.
Here's my point. I think that we all want conditions to be better at the border. We might have different ways of getting
100%.
there, sure, but I think my way makes sense. Again, I think a pathway to citizenship that for those that have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes, right, where they don't have to leave the country, would be the best system possible. One, because it ensures the
100%.
most amount of people are vetted. Two, because it ensures that more people go through the legal immigration process, incentivizing people to go through the legal immigration process rather than coming to our country undocumented. Three, because it will allow for law enforcement that are dealing with the border to focus on the murderers and the rapists and those that are committing violent, horrible crimes, right? Rather than those that are not a threat to our community, that are literally just trying to help and benefit our communities and their families, right? So, that's what I think. And I think that right now our process has it so over 70% of people that are detained by ICE have literally no prior criminal record. And since, again, they're spending most of their time doing that, again, deporting people without due process, I think that's bad and it's making our country less safe and secure rather than more safe and secure.
Yeah, I honestly 100% agree on that, and I hope that gets redone into, the right way. I have to ask a genuine question. I went to ask this to Dean when I was on there. Do you think J.D. Vance would be a good president if he went up for 2028?
No.
Why do you think so?
Because he's bought into the MAGA cult, Two, because he supports very destructive policy, and we can go through the destructive policies in and of itself. But mainly for me, it's because of his involvement with MAGA and Trump, and him explicitly saying that he. Oh, I have to kick you because of misinformation.
Oh, no.
Apparently, I don't remember what misinformation he engaged in, but yeah, I wouldn't support Vance. Yeah, and I mean, I think I gave you a few reasons, but like that's in general. Like, I think he's a horrible person for saying that he would have certified the false slates of electors under the Trump administration in his first term, right? Literally to undermine the 2020 election results. So I think that's a huge thing that people cannot overlook, because that's literally them trying to rig the election results. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen.
Three years.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Trump?
Hell yeah, I support my king.
What's your birth year?
February 6, 2006.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who'd you rather vote for?
Always Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because of, especially there was like one main thing is because of what Biden did with the withdrawal of Afghanistan, because one of my cousins actually died, so I didn't agree with it at all. And the things that they told me what they experienced while they were there, and those 24 hours, those were the scariest moments of their life. They've never experienced that moment, and yeah, that's why I didn't agree with it at all. So yeah.
Okay, so there's a few things here. One, that was set up specifically by Donald Trump, that agreement, and Biden extended it, gave us more time to leave. I don't think that you have an argument to say that if Trump were in office that this wouldn't have happened.
I mean, you saw the amount of equipment we left them, and now they're like one of the strongest.
Equipment we left them is after this all happened. Secondly, it's not equipment we left; it's stuff we gave to the Afghan government to defend themselves. Right? Are you saying that we shouldn't have given the Afghan government weapons to defend themselves against the Taliban?
So, no, sure, but like I mean, they collapsed. So my thing is, why couldn't we withdraw the equipment?
Wait, we did. We withdrew all equipment we had access to. And we destroyed it on site. Other than that, the only stuff that was U.S. that was given as a gift to the Afghan government to defend themselves. You're essentially arguing we shouldn't have given them any weapons to defend themselves, which is ridiculous and absurd.
I mean, we were there too, so we were using it. It's not like, hey, take it, right? It was like it belonged to us because we gave it to them, but we were actually like loaning it to them. It's not like we
No, we gifted it to them so that they could defend themselves. That was the point of us giving it to them. That's what military experts and intelligence officers said themselves.
I mean, what do you think about the 13 U.S. Mostly Marine members that died, though?
I think that's horrible. It's horrific. No one wants service members to die. All right, we all don't want that to happen. One thing that people don't take into account, though, is the 65-plus service members that died in conflict under the Trump administration. There were 16 under the Biden-Harris administration, counting the 13 that you're referencing, right? But there were over 65 under Trump's administration. So why don't you reference any of them?
Because, like I said, like that, what happened to my to one of my family members, that was more personal, right?
Yeah, that's horrific. I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. It's like obviously very horrific. And
I wouldn't like
anyone else.
Yeah,
to
I wouldn't want anyone on that, right? Yeah, but
that was one of my reason to vote for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, what would he have done to prevent that?
Yeah, one of the reasons why, like he talked about this, I'm pretty sure,